Number one as a group,
Now we're live. Hey, everybody. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the second Zennie62Media NFL Mock Draft Live. Let me introduce our participants. Right below me is Mock Draft Live. Let me introduce our participants. Right below me is Mock Draft Live. Let me introduce. Oh, so hey, somebody, can you guys
hear that feedback? It might be a
else
tab.
Missed almost.
Hear that feedback? It might be a tab.
Who's got?
Hear that feedback?
Let's see here. All right, that should kill the feedback. All right.
Perfect.
Thank God. That was horrible before. It's like you were talking into like a plastic bin almost.
That was my. What happened was I had the YouTube page open to send out a copy on Facebook, and then to basically prime it so that others would see it, so that we would have the visitors that are walking in on now. But I had forgotten that it was open, and so what you got in the delay was what you got, but it's gone now. Welcome to Jurassic Park. No, welcome to Zennie62Media's second NFL Draft Mock Draft Live 2020. And as I was about to say before the ghosts arrived, the participants are below me. Right up here are Anthony Carillo waving his hand, Vinny Lospinouso, who's in the middle, and Mason Riggs, who's right below him. And then right below Mr. Riggs is the legendary Joseph Armendariz. So we are all ready to go. And what we're going to do, folks, is a little different. Our order is first we're going to talk about the first pick's going to be a sort of a group pick, like a war room. That was Mason Riggs' idea. And then from that pick, we're going to go Joseph Armendariz 1, Vinny 2 for the next one, Mason for the next one, Anthony for the next one, and then myself. So basically it'll be second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth pick, and then we'll just go back to the group, the seventh pick, and continue. Okay. So with that, and for those who are wondering, what the draft order is, and all that good stuff, I do have that on standby, ready to call up on a moment's notice if necessary. If in case anybody has some wacky idea like wanting to do a trade or something like that, and then we can move forward. Although we may not need it because of this wonderful device we're using, but hey, look, some of us like to live on the edge and make life hard. All right, now, folks, let's start the discussion, and I'll open up things by saying this. I don't think Joe Burrow should be the number one pick. And the reason I say that is Joe Burrow is a test tube baby product of Joe Brady's offense. And Mel Kiper said it himself, basically, that he improved from 58% completion to, I believe, 78% in 1 year. Look, what was the main difference? Joe Brady, the passing off game coordinator for LSU, wasn't there in 2018. He arrived in 2019. And that made all the difference. I believe that Joe Burrow was the perfect combination, the perfect timing, the perfect storm of coach, player, team, and environment. In other words, how other teams were that allowed them to beat those other teams. I don't believe Joe Burrow will be the kind of guy that, say, Matt Stafford turned out to be. I don't think he's a surefire game winner for the Bengals if they draft him. And I'm open to, I think Justin Herbert is as good, if not better in some cases. I think Tua has his own unique style, like Russell Wilson. But I don't believe that Joe Burrow is the world beater.
Yep. I can agree with that because I was saying, Belichick made who good. And I do believe that Joe Brady made Joe Burrow better because if you go back to his Ohio State days, he was battling Justin Fields for that quarterback position, lost, transferred to LSU, and everything in between. I think that the way that the offense in an SEC that is defensively heavy, that not a lot of people, the SEC is like the last conference to transition into the spread attack. I think Joe Burrow just capitalized on it with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and that whole offensive talent and the way that they played. He was throwing 2-yard passes that those receivers were taking 60 yards. It just looks good on his stat sheet. But I think at the end of the day, the Bengals have no choice but to take Joe Burrow at 1. If it was up to me, I would probably keep Andy Dalton there and next year tank for Trevor Lawrence. Take Chase Young, get in somebody who's a proven psychopath on the edge to chase after quarterbacks. And if Andy Dalton sucks again, then take Trevor Lawrence next year, and then that's it.
Other guys?
Go ahead, Vinny. You're next. We'll go down in order.
We'll go down the list.
With me, I'd
wait. Is that a double on trying to all go down in order?
No.
Crash and burn. Just checking.
No. With me, I'd say with Joe with Joe Burrow, I'd say that. I mean, I feel like they kind of have no choice but to take Joe Burrow here. Now, could you say that a guy like a Tua or Herbert is better? Potentially, I could see a case for that. But I would say that right now, it's like I'd say the best player in the draft is Chase Young. I think that's a slam dunk. I think the best player in this draft is Chase Young from Ohio State. Though I would say for the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, you don't know what you're going to do with Andy Dalton. I mean, you would think that they would trade him, but Patriots didn't ask for him. The Chargers didn't ask for him. Cam Newton's still available. James Winston's still available. But I think, when you have Joe Burrow here, I mean, usually you always take – if you have quarterback – and if the quarterback's in need of yours and you have the number 1 pick, I guess take the quarterback. And I feel like they kind of have no choice. Though I do think if you are going to go with anyone else, you'd probably take with Chase Young here. Though I would have no issue with either. I just feel like, it's probably going to be Joe Burrow here. That's how I feel. I think it's Joe Burrow or bust.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to stand on the island here. I think it's a no-brainer. Joe Burrow should be the number 1 pick.
I think so.
He has the greatest statistical college quarterback season, arguably, of all time. You mentioned a lot of quick passing. I've seen Tom Brady making a murder of that, winning a lot of championships in recent memory doing that.
Yep. And
in the SEC, you're not going to get very much better defensive coaches, defensive speed, less time in the pocket. So I don't really see that necessarily being the case. He has a lot of talent around him, definitely. And you mentioned him maybe losing out to a Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State, causing him to transfer. I think it's important to remember Joe Burrow is a 2-star high school athlete, Mr. Ohio in basketball, playing deep in basketball. So maybe it took him a little bit longer to develop. Definitely, he does not have the greatest arm we've ever seen. However, I do think he has great ball placement, excellent feet, awareness, sneaky athleticism, picking up first downs. I would say Tua would be my next on my list, but with that injury concern, I think, he could go as high as number 3 overall. Someone could trade up for him, but he might even fall, mid-late first round potentially. So you just can't do that, in my opinion. And then Justin Herbert, I think he's got all the ability in the world. I'm just not the biggest fan. You think back to it, Joe Burrow threw about 60% of his passes were on first down. He threw 60% of the time. Take it to a Justin Herbert. He was second in this draft class. I believe 40% about was he throwing. And if you're going to tell me his best is what he produced in the Rose Bowl and in the Pac, championship and all that, it's not enough. However, you see it, man. You watch that Washington game back. He gets blasted hanging in there, delivers a frozen rope, 25 yards crossing route. He does make some wild plays, but I'm just not the biggest fan. And then definitely the best player, in this draft, in my opinion, is Chase Young. But, quarterback, if you don't have a quarterback and with all these available, you kind of have to take one. But for me, yeah, it'd be Joe Burrow.
As I say, quarterback always is what you got to go with. If all else fails, take the quarterback. Quarterback's the biggest need. Bengals don't really have a solid position, so you got to take the quarterback.
And then
finally for you, Joe, what's your thoughts on Joe?
Well, well, the first thing that I thought was I'm going to throw a wrench into everything. I think, having said what Anthony brought up, and I think Mason kind of reiterated, potentially getting Lawrence next year. We don't know, even if they have a trade partner, if the opportunity will even get him, depending on where the lineup ends up for next year. But I would trade out of number one. Well, who I would trade for is I trade with potentially would be San Diego, because they're in need of quarterback, and I would try to spin this for the Bengals and try to get multiple picks. I think one opportunity that the Bengals might have is to go after Jameis Winston. But even what you guys said, Cam Newton's still out there. So yeah, I'm not 100% sold on Joe Burrow, and it seems like the last week or so, the issues that Zennie brought up are becoming more prevalent. Now that could just be spin to throw everything into a loop before next Thursday. But I think the opportunity for the Bengals to get multiple picks by trading out number one. So that's what I would do.
I have in mind the guy's social media. I'm pretty certain I'd find something, because he just seems like he's that kind of guy. My point isn't to find something just to disprove him. I'm not.
No, but I'm referencing more that.
But if I may though, let me finish my point. My point is not to find something to disprove him. I simply hold that he is a system quarterback, and there's too much. And this is a child, if you will, of the problem with sport media. I was listening to 92.9 The Game, and they were talking about the Falcons' defensive line without talking about the coaches or the scheme. So at some point, this conversation of that kind becomes nuts. And you have to consider who coached the person and what they were asked to do. Because as Derek Carr told me in my interview with him in 2015, I only do what the coaches tell me to do. Gotcha. So if Chase Young is truly the best person, and I've seen it before, Jadeveon Clowney was number one. And we saw, and Carillo, you remember this? Remember how Clowney clocked that dude in the Rose Bowl?
Michigan,
yeah. And
against Michigan, he took his helmet off 10 yards.
Blocked him, and it was in that hit, and it went viral on YouTube. I argue that's what catapulted him into,
definitely
being
taken. And his testing, yeah.
Right. And then I remember Mario Williams was drafted because Bob McNair personally told me he didn't want anybody holding out of training camp. So he brought in Williams. This isn't the first time a defensive player would be number one who was a lineman, an end. In fact, technically it would be the third time in my history of covering the draft. So, I have no problem saying that I think it should be Chase Young. I'm not, if I get outnumbered, I get outnumbered, but I'm just not sold on Joe Burrow.
I got one question. Are we kind of doing what we would all do, or what we're kind of predicting? Are we kind of doing what we would do?
Well, if it's a group,
I know this is a group pick, but I'm talking in general. So, like when number 2's on the board, is it what are we predicting?
Well, if you're asking what I think the Bengals are going to do, the Bengals not ran right, so they're going to take him. Okay, fine.
Well, I think they should. I mean, that's up to argument. My point is I'd be open to taking Chase Young as a group, because if we're not going to do, what we really think's going to happen, then I have no problem taking the best player.
Yeah, I thought it was us saying what we thought that each team should do this time.
Yeah, yeah.
As to predict that, I mean, if they look, the minute a trade happens, our predictions go through the roof. Down.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's just kind of whatever.
But when it comes to all drafts, I mean, let's be real. As fun as mock drafts are, no one truly knows what's going to happen. The draft is not an exact science, and for a lot of mock drafts, people don't even do trades because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
So in a sense,
Yeah.
we're just throwing darts at the wall blindfolded. That's basically what a mock draft is. But hey, it's fun.
Exactly. Exactly. It's basically who can be the best bully at BSer, right? So let's just, and in the war room, we were BSing as a group. So it's
then let's just take Chase Young. I think we kind of agree he's the best player, and we have, one person that's sold on Joe Burrow. So let's just do that to his 2 injury concern. So let's do Chase Young at 1, and then I think that's a good way to get it started.
sold, cool.
Do
All right.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm good.
Chase Young, I click on the draft, right? Boom, like that.
Just goes like that.
Chase Young, edge.
All right, so now Joseph.
Wait. Excuse me.
Crew pick. I like it.
Group pick.
Teamwork.
Right.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Welcome, Chase Young is a Bengal. Now, if that actually happens, I will massively respect the Bengals. I really will. I really will.
Now I'm going to say that Zennie called it.
Hey.
Didn't.
Hey, then Joe Burrow will be looking for me.
You'll see me on when I'm streaming during the broadcast. My mouth will be like this. I'll be in shock.
So, hey, we are at the Detroit Lions. Excuse me, the Washington Redskins, number 2.
Yes.
This is going to be fun.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to pretend that I'm, Ron Rivera, and I see, oh man, Chase Young's taken off the board.
Right.
So now over in DC.
Now, FYI, we gave this pick.
Isn't it Joseph's pick
Yeah,
right here? Joseph's pick.
Oh yeah, Joe's pick is number 2.
You can always like dabble in his ear or whatever you want to say, but
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
never mind.
obviously, there's several needs. Being that Ron Rivera is in Washington, I don't know what his relation with Cam Newton is, so potentially that could be a sign for Washington eventually. But my favorite player is Isaiah Simmons.
no. Ooh,
And I think I'm going to pull the trigger and pick Isaiah Simmons.
I like that.
Oh, I like this
I
pick,
like that.
especially if Chase Young's off the board. Oh,
I like that.
man.
Whoa,
I think of like
whoa! I made a mistake there. Can I pull it back?
No, you
you
just restart.
have to restart it.
Just
and
refresh it. Yeah,
No, I think you got to restart it.
That's fine. There you go. Select all again. You can just do it real quick. It's no worries.
Oh,
And it would
cool.
just be Chase Young and then Isaiah Simmons.
The world would explode if a quarterback didn't go.
Yeah.
Well, this is good because it ruins every potential mock draft that's out there that's following convention.
Oh, absolutely. This is now a Zennie62 one of a kind
Exclusive.
mock draft. We're on it.
No, that's right.
I saw the first
Isaiah
one.
Simmons to the Redskins, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
I love him. He's one of my favorite players. Just him
Yeah.
sliding in at weak side linebacker or safety. Usually it's hard to get those guys drafted in the top 3 or 4 or 5, but he's just like Joseph said, he's like my favorite player. He can play everywhere. I
Yeah.
was watching 2018 against Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl, I believe. He was playing nickel corner the entire time, following Miles Boykin up the seam, deflection in his back pocket. It was beautiful. He can play everywhere. I love him.
Well said. That's Mason Riggs saying that, folks. Now, Vinny, you're on the clock, pal.
Okay, I'm the Detroit Lions, and I see that I trade away Darius Slay. So yeah, Desmond Trufant, but really, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Desmond Trufant as your head lead corner, or would you rather have Jeffrey Okudah? It's pretty simple. It's a pretty straightforward pick here. Lions' biggest need is corner, and they take a corner with the number 3 pick. However, I do see this as a prime candidate for a potential trade back for a team like the Chargers or the Dolphins who need a quarterback. So for right now, I'm going to take Darius Slay because, like we said, we have no idea who's going to trade for who. So right now, Jeffrey Okudah to the Lions, it just fits like a glove. It just makes sense.
Wow. So we have 3 defenders Bang, bang, bang.
All right. The Giants, just like last time, and just like last time, I'll take the new. No shots at my new friend here, Anthony, rocking the Jets jersey, but new Broadway Joe Burrow coming to the Giants, and I'm kicking the dirt on Daniel Jones.
Quarterback.
It's been done before. I think Joe Burrow's way better than Daniel Jones. It's not even close. And if it's me running it, I can deal Daniel Jones for a third or fourth, whatever.
Oh my God, this is hilarious. I mean,
again, I'll double down on that.
The Giants are going to go broke trying to draft
trying to draft a successor.
It's slotted salaries. They all make the same depending on where you're picked. So depending on what, you might as well pick the premier positions because you're getting a discount.
This is hilarious. It's like
all slotted. It's all slotted. So yeah, I'm not a believer in Daniel Jones. He's a fumbling machine. If it was real life, I'd take an offensive tackle to back up my back-to-back. Nope, because I think Joe Burrow won't be there in real life. But if it's make believe, I'll double down, take Joe Burrow again.
In real life, I can tell you the Giants are not going to take him.
Yeah, but hey, this is the mock draft. It's for fun, not for reality.
The Giants will not select him over Mekhi Becton. I'm sorry.
You'll never know that because he won't be on the board. As far as I'm concerned, this is fair. This is make believe land right now. None of this is going to happen as soon as we started at number one.
Well, you know what though? I'll tell you what. If
I'll give you whatever odds you want.
I'll tell you what.
Burrow's going number one.
But look, Mason, the minute if Chase Young flies off the board as number one, I'm gonna be calling you, man.
Hey, as soon as Joe Burrow goes number one, I'm calling you, Zennie.
Deal.
It's gonna be wild. All right, so I guess I'm the Dolphins here, Miami.
Yes.
Since Joe Burrow just went to New York to go create the purge,
I like that.
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with who I had, and I'm gonna take Justin Herbert from Oregon. With the only reason Tua is not here at 5 is the back-to-back seasons riddled with injuries, and Tua's going to be real good in this league. Don't get me wrong. He's going to fit somewhere, but he has to fit somewhere. I think Justin Herbert, he's got question marks about leadership. He's not vocal enough, but that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got great size. What is he, 6'4", 6'5"? He's huge.
Yeah.
And I think that any quarterback that goes to the Dolphins, because I also thought about Jordan Love here from Utah State, because have them pull what Daniel Jones did last year, sit behind a veteran like Fitzpatrick there, and spend a lot of time learning how the NFL works and operates. And I think Justin Herbert needs that because Ryan Fitzpatrick to me seems like somebody who's type of the same leader Justin Herbert is, where quiet, poised, but he has those crazy moments. So I think Justin Herbert fits well in Miami, and I hope he loses a million games. But yeah, I think the Dolphins take Justin Herbert.
Interesting.
And I think a great point you made is the concern. Two ankle surgeries. He's got the implant now that Alabama patented. The hips injuries, broken his wrist twice.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more than just the hip, and that's a very good point. And if you fail someone's physical, which we don't know if they did or if they will or they won't, but if you're not comfortable with that and you fail them, your doctors fail them, you can't take them. That thought process, I think that's believable. There's a lot of rumors about that, so I could see it. I wouldn't do it, but I could definitely see it. And if I had doctors and they said I'm feeling Tua, then you can't take them, as I said. So
that comes to the Chargers, which falls to me.
Indeed, you cannot choose Justin Herbert, which I should mention for my opinion on it. I actually think Justin Herbert's more likely to go.
I'm making this the shortest. There you go. Boom. Right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll tell you why. This is
go ahead.
This is shoot first, ask mixed later, okay? Because I'm opening a new stadium. I lost my star quarterback. My veteran is a running quarterback who throws well, and he needs a rookie backup who can spell him at a moment's notice and provide a road to a positive future. And I think Tua does that. Mm-hmm. That's a no-brainer pick right there. No-brainer. Comes down You know,
And as for my opinion, I think Justin Herbert to the Dolphins and Tua to the Chargers makes more sense than the other way around, in my opinion, because like what I said, like Anthony said, Justin Herbert fits very, very well with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Tua works very, very well with Tyrod Taylor, because for what Tyrod is, his skill set's a lot more similar to Tua. That and also, Tyrod, don't trash on Tyrod. Tyrod is a starter caliber quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a very high quality backup. And the Chargers are a pretty deep roster. I think they were definitely one of the winners in the free agency. I think it's a playoff team right now, even with the injuries that they've had in years past. I think Tyrod could start for a year, and Tua, make sure he's fully healthy next year or halfway through the season and he can take over. Same thing with Justin Herbert, though the Dolphins are not in.
That's right. Hey, by the way, whoever coughed, make sure
playoff contention right now, like the Chargers. I feel.
The Chargers.
I'm going to give a little pushback there for a second, and just because I have a buddy who's I think's watching, he's a big Dolphins fan, and if the medical fails, then you have to do that. I would argue, yes, Tua has some running ability. I would honestly say Justin Herbert's more of a scrambler than Tua. He clocked more of a speed. I think Tua is really good in the pocket and extending plays, but he's not a real true scrambler. I mean, you're talking about Tyrod Taylor, someone that runs 4.5 out there. Tua ain't doing that. And if you do, and if you are Miami, you're building towards the future. So if you don't feel Tua for medically reasons, you might as well redshirt him if you are concerned about his injury. So yes, Herbert needs to sit back and learn as well. But like I said, if you're not going to feel it medically, I'm going to stand up for my buddy James here and say Tua.
Yeah.
Also, I'm standing up for my buddy Mike, who is a big Chargers fan, and he wants to see Tua on the Chargers.
I don't want to see Tua to the Chargers as a Raider fan. I don't.
Folks, already saved that. I picked Tua. He's with the Chargers.
I know.
So now we're into group group discussion. Yeah, that's for the Carolina. Mr. Carillo.
No. Okay.
Is that's okay? Yeah. No, I forgot the thing. For Carolina, they needed seeing Jeffrey Okudah go to the Lions is a big blow, obviously, because they just lost Bradbury, if I'm not mistaken. Isaiah Simmons is gone. They need a linebacker to replace Luke Kuechly, who up and retired out of nowhere. Which good for him, by the way. Like, that guy is a tackling machine. His body's just getting deteriorated. If it was up to me, watching everybody leave Carolina and you got to fill voids in that thing, I know it sounds crazy. Derek Brown from Auburn doesn't seem too crazy here at 7. And Derek Brown is a 305 pound. Derek Brown's a 305-pound man that put him on a lead card and he could probably do the ballet. The
Take it.
Yeah.
Derek Brown to the
This is a group.
That's not outlandish at all. I love that pick.
I agree. Derek Brown.
Hold on, is this a group pick right now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, it's Derek Brown. I mean, the idea now if he was there, I would take Isaiah Simmons, but since he's not there, Derek Brown's the next best option.
Derek Brown, right?
Hold on, let me
wait.
No, right. I'm waiting for you.
Let me talk something. Yeah. Offensive line is very valuable. Yeah. We've seen the hit rate a little bit fluctuate with defensive tackle. I do think Derek Brown is a monster, but I would argue maybe even Kinlaw should go ahead of him in this draft. Ooh. And you mentioned the biggest blow in that division. You got to have corners, and I think the best man-to-man corner, the most physically skilled corner out there, is still out there, and that's C.J. Henderson. So I think offensive tackle would be fine. Defensive tackle, I'm not trying to hate on Derek Brown. I think he's fine. Pick 2. I just want to say there is a couple other options. I just wanted to say that I am fine with Derek Brown. I just wanted to throw out a couple more names.
Oh, absolutely. You can look at AJ Terrell.
Who is it? Who can take over a game other than Derek Brown? Derek Brown can actually wreck your offensive line.
I think Kinlaw can too. You look at pressure rate this past year. Kinlaw was number 2 out of all eligible defensive linemen.
But I've seen him get
pushed back.
Yeah.
I not so much pushback as what is it when you get lifted up, jacked,
jackhammered, kind of, yeah.
Jack something or other, but yeah. But
Derek Brown does that a lot. I'm just saying, we just heard about the Katniss prospect in what's his face last year from Alabama, and I'm just saying, usually it's pass rushing that
Quinnen Williams,
sells.
right?
Yeah, Quinnen Williams.
And
usually it's pass rushing that sells. So I'm just telling you, I think the better pass rusher is Kinlaw. And like I said, in that division, I mean, look at all the receivers you got to guard, man. There's a big drop off after a guy like C.J. Henderson. I think you mentioned Terrell. That's the next best physically gifted corner, or Diggs, but that's way too early right now.
Yeah.
I'm fine with Brown. If you guys want to do Brown, I am fine. I just want to throw a couple of other names out there.
How about C.D. Lamb?
They have a lot of receivers, in my opinion. Like, they've invested a lot of equity. I mean, but it's what we would do. I mean, it's easier just to all vote down, I guess, in order. So, yeah, I think that might be the easiest way.
Guys, thoughts?
No, let's just move forward. Derek Brown.
Brown. All right. Derek Brown going once. Derek Brown going twice. Derek Brown, you are the Carolina Panthers 2020 NFL Draft first-round pick. Derek Brown. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, we used to call them St. Louis, are on the clock.
They used to be called the Chicago Cardinals too.
And that means that Mr. Armendariz,
Vinny,
you're up. Hey,
well, this is going to be easy. Out of I think we should go corner for this one. And that's one of their needs, and I didn't want to go typical, but I would go. I do.
It goes left to right. So offensive tackle is their biggest need just before you make your pick. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't want to. Offensive tackle, I don't know who. Any suggestions? I don't know who I would pick. I know who I would.
Or worse, probably.
You know what?
Mekhi Becton, Tristan Wirth, Andrew Thomas.
If I were picked at that, I would take Becton.
Okay, so the two I had in mind was let's see, Becton or Henderson.
Becton.
You need to protect your franchise pick.
Yeah.
Just go offensive tackle, Becton or worse. I would say they're both physical.
They need a pass block and road grade too. That's
if you want a road grade, definitely Becton. If you're gonna be the one thing I do wonder though, Zennie, they don't do a lot of quick sets, and that's what he specialized in Louisville. Kind of like a similar body type to Trent Brown. If you get the ball out quick, it's hard to get around him in that quick. But
when you say quick sets, you mean like vertical set blocking?
Yeah, like 3-step drop backs and stuff. At Louisville, they got the ball out rather quickly compared to
they have. They do have those. Actually, they do have them. But having said that, what I like about Becton in terms of pass blocking is he can anchor himself in that. If and I think he should decide to emphasize more vertical set blocking than he did last year, where you're standing up, and the Cardinals do that. I think I just can't see passing on him in that area.
He's so physically gifted. Him and Wirfs are combine freaks. You really can't go wrong, in my opinion. So go with the bigger guy.
So let's go with Becton then for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's do it.
Done. And that leaves us
Jaguars.
in that, but also in terms of order, that means that see, Joseph after Joseph is
me.
You.
Me. I'm next.
Yeah. You.
Okay. So I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I noticed that Saxonville is dead. Everyone except for Yannick Ngakoue is on another team or retired.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized that you need to help the interior, especially with your your cornerstone, the best player on Saxonville, Calais Campbell. You shipped him off to the Baltimore Ravens. So you need to help out the defensive line. And, with Derek Brown gone off the board, go with the next best option. And for me, it's Javon Kinlaw. Why not?
Yes. Yes.
Javon Kinlaw to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I like this pick a lot. Really helps out the interior, which is something that the Jaguars badly need. And it just fits like a glove. Either him or Derek Brown, if it's an interior lineman. And if I'm the Jaguars, I'm snagging it. I don't care what anyone says.
So Kinlaw?
Javon Kinlaw.
He's it. We have a defense-rich first round so far.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's fun.
Yeah, I think this could happen. I really do think this could happen. I mean, sometimes you think, but although I'm not sure that this draft is going to be as pro forma as the other ones. Mainly because, like with Tua, and this is a handicap, he didn't get a chance to do his pro day, right?
No.
Mm-hmm. No.
Virtual, but you can't trust those all that much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a weird draft. I mean, I'm used to seeing an Anthony, Mr. Relevant, and Melanie Fitch out there.
Yep.
I got to call Melanie and find out what's going on. I get her on the show before the draft and say, Melanie, where you guys going to be? At home? It's wild.
It's unbelievable what we're dealing with right now in this draft and how it's going to go, and it's going to feel new to all of us. It's just going to be a weird thing, but it's kind of like I honestly probably after the first 3 or 4 picks, we'll all be like, okay, it'll just be weird seeing like Roger Goodell in a onesie in his basement, like making picks. It'll just be a weird.
Who's going to boo him?
And then nobody can boo him, so I don't know if they're going to pump that crowd noise in, or
I heard that
they're gonna pump in the boos.
Yeah, or he's going to live in the moment and be like, "You can't boo me."
Oh man! All right.
The one thing really quick was, the one thing that I think is probably relevant here is the fact that we're new ground because of this coronavirus. So I think what's going to end up happening for a lot of teams that aren't able to see pro days or what have you is that they're going to go for the sure thing. So I think our draft is probably going to mimic somewhat what's really going to happen, besides potentially trading out. I think what you're going to see is you're going to have teams go for the sure thing because there's a lot of unknowns for a lot of players that are highly profiled.
I think the Raiders going to be up in here, but okay. So
Willing to take odds.
The Browns.
That's me.
Yes.
This is easy. It's offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs, Iowa.
Yeah, he's just sticking out.
He's super versatile. A lot of things that I've seen. I've coached football, and I see he can play probably right tackle and tell Greg Robinson to take a hike.
They brought in Conklin.
Mm-hmm.
You have Conklin on the left, play Greg Robinson, but Wirfs can also play guard. A lot of people that are watching this, if you watch his tape, watch his hips. His hips always stay low. He always fires off the ball. His feet are real quick for somebody that size. And seeing him as a pulling guard or something like that, I would love him in mine offense. And then with Baker Mayfield and that offense, it has to click at some point. There's too much talent. There's too many things there in Cleveland that it can't go right. You have a ton of talent. I say take Tristan Wirfs once the Cardinals or the Jaguars pick and Tristan Wirfs is still there. Don't even wait 3 seconds. Just take the man. Keep protecting what you've paid a ton of money for. Open the lanes for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and give him time to throw the ball. And then if Greg Robinson keeps panning out and does well, then move Wirfs to guard and then watch him just maul people to death. It'll be great. But yeah, Tristan Wirfs, offensive lineman from Iowa. That's mine.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs, only freshman to start in the Kirk Ferentz era.
Yep.
Offensive line, guru, formerly the NFL. NFL was trying to get him to come back for all those years. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned staying low and, using his hands, high school wrestling champion. And, that translates a lot to linemen, understanding leverage and getting off the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Tristan Wirfs believer, and 100% what you said. You know, he'll be an All-Pro guard, Pro Bowl type guard if you know your tackles you feel are certified enough.
Absolutely.
I personally think that Tristan Wirfs, he's a guy that I could see taking as a tackle. I can see him as a guy you can take as a guard. I think he's versatile at any position you put on that line.
Yep.
And I think for the team like the Cleveland Browns, a team that needs help on the offensive line, hey, give it a go. If he's there, take him. that's what I say. Now, will he actually be there? He actually might. I mean, with the offensive tackles, I see that happening somewhere around this range. Actually, I see it somewhere like, you know, early first round, somewhere early middle. I think you can start seeing a run on the tackles and then into the receivers. So I think this a tackle at this part is definitely where I see the draft going. But hey, you never know. I'm just a crapshoot right now.
Yeah, you can watch from that video that Zennie's showing and everything. In those pass set moments, his hands are at his hips. They're not all the way up by his throat. So when he's firing out at people's hips. He's not firing out at their shoulders, because right there, instead of firing out at somebody's shoulders, your shoulders lie. Your hips, Shakira said it right. Your hips don't lie. And that's when you're blocking. I used to tell them that your hips don't lie. So when you're trying to pass block, fire right at their hip bones, because if you fire at their shoulders, they can mess you around. But that's a big man. That's a scary dude.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of almost? This reminds me of when the Washington Redskins took Brandon Scherf in 2015 with the number 5 pick, because he too was from Iowa and he too was a tackle but could play very well guard. Sure enough, he's been a multi-time Pro Bowler at the guard position, and if I recall correctly, he got an extension by the Redskins as well, because he's one of the better guards in the league. Now, granted, he's been banged up a little bit, but when healthy, he's been a multi-time Pro Bowler, and you could definitely say, hey, in a 2015 draft class, which was kind of bare, he was truly one of the best players in there. And, you know, I could see a potentially even better version of that Iowa lineman in Tristan Wirfs. I think the Browns would get a quality dude on that lineman.
No, absolutely.
FYI, what I did here was I noticed I just did it for a few seconds. That's called fair use. Okay. I noticed I didn't just play the whole video. I played in a few seconds. Mason, that's just for you because you were talking about that.
Yeah, thank you.
And then basically once, and I'm looking to basically go and go back and say, all right, next I replace it with what, you know. So, and that's the main objective is to not get a copyright note. You know, you just show a few seconds and you guys are talking about, notice the sound was down, right? So just a little instruction there. Yeah. Now going back to where we were, which is here, and the simulator, and there's home. So we're back home. So yeah, so that, to recap, we just we sent the nasty to the nasty, and sent the nasty to the nasty. I don't know why I said that, but
nasty.
But you know, it kind of fits, right? Yeah. So Tristan Wirfs is an Iowa Buckeye, but he's now Cleveland Browns.
NFL Cleveland Browns, New Jersey, and all they did was add a line, I think, on the shoulder.
Yeah. But you know what, though? If this actually happens, that guy is going to be another Joe Thomas.
Oh, yeah. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the next Joe Thomas.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are on the clock with the JTS Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets. Okay. JETS. Jets.
We're way out of order. I'm so confused right now.
Oh, no, I'm not, because we had they had Vinny, then Mason, then Anthony. Now it's me, so it's me. So
I didn't go though.
You want to go? I want to go.
I'm just saying. I didn't go.
Yeah, that's true. Mason didn't go yet. That's true.
Mason's next, then after Vinny. Sorry,
I don't know. We got all mixed up somehow. It's
well, we started with Joseph, and then Vinny was next, so we're not quite mixed up. We would be mixed up if we didn't go with you. So therefore, in order to not be mixed up,
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I'm confused. Okay.
no, that's okay.
I'm confused. Yeah. Okay.
Because we help it's important to get that right. We helped. Kai Becton was I can say
Joseph's pick. So
right.
then and then it should have been Vinny, and then it should have been me.
Okay.
So that's why that's why. Okay.
Yeah. So Wirtz should have been your pick.
It's fine. I would have gone offensive tackle at both spots. Either one. I think they both need to improve their offensive line.
So why don't
we can go corner here.
Why don't we just give you the next one then?
Yeah, I'll be the Jets. Unless it's Anthony's team, so I kind of wanted Anthony to do it, to be honest.
Anthony, I'll let you guys work that out. I do.
I mean, how much time do you got? I got a lot of things to say.
I'll let you go then. Yeah, I'll just let you go.
All right. So then, but just for house cleaning, then after that, Mason. How about that?
It doesn't. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. So the Jets. I have so many things that I can't say on the air. But with what's left on the board right now and what I'm seeing, you couldn't go wrong with a lot of things. You could go with CJ Henderson. You could go with one of these tackles here. You can go with one of these Alabama receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Grant Delpit, Xavier McKinney. You really don't need any of the safeties at the moment. What I'm going to do as the Jet GM and Johnson & Johnson, whatever, I'm going to take somebody to protect. And I think in my mind, and I don't know if I'm just saying this because I'm a diehard Jet fan, Andrew Thomas from Georgia is an absolute freak of nature. He's an SEC tackle. Look at the running backs he's blocked for in the 4 years he's been at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Blocked for a lot of them. He's blocked very well. He's faced a lot of this SEC competition that we talk about with Kinlaw and Brown. And I think you have to – the Jets' offensive line was a freaking turnstile, and it's just getting worse by the year.
That's true.
And I think that the Jets have to go back to when we started our rebuild eons ago, when we had our two first-round picks. We took Nick Mangold and DeBrickashaw Ferguson in the same first round.
Yep.
And
Virginia, Ohio State.
Yeah, they were both smart, talented, physical offensive linemen, and they both probably are going to go into the Jets Ring of Honor.
You and Chakas would never stop talking about it. Chakas would always call him D-Brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-Brick.
So Andrew Thomas, honestly, he's got these arms for days. I think they're 33 and 3/8. Like, he's got these long arms. He's super physical. He can bully anybody out of the way. With Le'Veon Bell in that backfield, and with Sid, you got to protect Sam Darnold first and foremost. I think what the Jets did was get pretty much every offensive lineman you can think of except Jack Conklin in as free agents. But you bring in a guy like Andrew Thomas, you put him at left tackle because he is a left tackle, and you leave him there for a decade, just like DeBrickashaw Ferguson. And now you can keep moving inward and see where it goes. But yeah, Andrew Thomas. The only other person that really sparked my interest was Jerry Jeudy from Alabama.
So I can pull the trigger on Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, pull the trigger on Andrew Thomas. But the only other one that I really thought about out of those receiving groups is Jerry Jeudy. I think he's the most polished one. I think he's in – I know this sounds really weird, but bear with me. I think he's a smaller version of Julio Jones. Like, he's not as fast as Julio and everything like that, but in terms of how he conducts himself on the field and how he plays the game of football, minus the 4.3 speed, I think Jerry Jeudy is close. Like, he's like the Julio Jones mini version of it.
Mason, you're next.
Which brings up Mason. I know which one he's going to probably get.
All right.
Right, Mason?
I was expecting a receiver here. I'm going to take my favorite man-to-man corner. I feel comfortable. I don't have the 19th pick, I don't think, but there's plenty of good receivers there later. Not one has come off the board. So I'm taking the next, like I said, my favorite man-to-man corner. I'm taking CJ Henderson.
He's real good.
No brainer.
Yeah.
Actually, even though that many people have mocked the Raiders take a receiver here, the reality is that there's many quality There's many quality receivers with a first round grade, but there's not as many corners with the first round grade. So I have no issue whatsoever if the Raiders decide to go corner here, because you can still get a guy like a Justin Jefferson or Denzel Mims with your second first round pick. So I have no issue here. CJ Henderson's the kind of guy that teams are trying to trade up for. So I love this pick for the Raiders.
It would be interesting to just take a quick look at what the Raiders are getting. Mr. Mason, and
you're getting 4.4 speed, 6'1" plus, 32-inch arms. Younger in his career, you see him blitz off the corner. He goes for the football. He's ball hawk. A lot of people say he can't tackle. When DBs struggle late in their career, when they're first round locks, it doesn't bother me as much. Quick trigger. I think that's when he was a freshman, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I love him. And if you really want to play press man, like they say in press conferences, I know we run a lot of zone with Paul Gunther, but if you want to play press man, I mean, he's the guy to do it.
Absolutely.
And talking about corners, the rest of the class, as we mentioned, at number 19, I think there's a lot of receivers, as Vinny mentioned, that we'd be happy with at around 19. And I think a lot of the corners that will be around there at 19 should go around 23 and on.
Oh,
he'll go for the football. He's got some pretty nice forced fumbles coming off the edge.
Yep.
He'll hit you.
You know, it's kind of weird. Like, for some reason, after I saw this pick, I started to just like that more and more than seeing a receiver there. I don't know. After seeing that, I'm sold. If I was the Raiders, I'd much rather take a corner with my first rounder than a wide receiver. Yeah,
you could even trade up a few picks potentially and get one of the top 3 guys if you want. But Justin Jefferson, I'm sorry, he might be the 3rd best receiver in this draft. Huge wingspan, 18 touchdowns this past year. T. Higgins, the all-time touchdown leader, 6'4" out of Clemson. I know he didn't run the 40 or whatever. Love him. There's plenty of guys. Kid out of Arizona State. There's plenty of guys.
Niners, I take Jerry Jeudy. I think he's got the best potential in terms of size, speed combination. And I like the way that he actually bends his body to catch. So that would be my choice for the Niners.
Yeah, I like that pick 100%. And the comp that I see a lot of Marvin Harrison in him. Mm-hmm. And then bottom floor, I could see him being, poor man's, let's say it doesn't work out, poor man's Cooper Kupp, real good route runner.
Not only that, the Niners need help at wide receiver. They
100%. Yeah.
So let's go with them.
And a lot of people say, oh, he's not fast enough or this or that. The guy ran 4.4. I mean, how fast do you want receivers to run, man? You look at the top 10 receivers, the average speed's like 4.53 or something. The fastest is like Tyreek Hill at 4.27. So it's like most guys that run that fast, you can't move your body. You can't run precise routes. It's hard. Jerry Jeudy's got plenty of juice.
Okay,
and even then, when you look at a guy like that, okay, just because someone's fast, it's usually in a straight line. Okay, it's nice how fast you can go in a straight line, but how fast can you go in terms of turning and going angles? Because remember, John Ross went pretty fast. And would you rather have John Ross if you were the Bengals, or would you rather have a guy like, I don't know, the guy that was taken after Patrick Mahomes?
Hey, gentlemen, we are into the group one. Let's make this a little faster. I just want to be mindful of those of us who have kids. So,
sorry.
No problem.
I'm good.
Okay.
With Tampa Bay, I think they need an offensive tackle.
I didn't want your wife coming down here and giving you a headlock, man.
Offensive tackle for sure. They're loving
and also
this.
my mom, she's so we both all got family things, but
we got to protect Brady.
Yeah, I think offensive tackle for Tampa Bay to keep Brady upright would help out.
Yep, no brainer. They're
easy. Offensive tackle, no question. Brady's going to be 43. Your defensive line's already pretty good. You're already one of the better defenses in the league. You're good at receiver. You have Chris Godwin and you have Mike Evans there. Running back you can take later, but you see Jedrick Wills there.
Yeah.
Hey,
we might get the top running back in the second round. You know what I'm saying? There's a chance the running back doesn't even go in the first.
Yeah.
I would take
Jedrick Wills. Who would you say would be the best? Who?
Jedrick Wills is a beast from Alabama.
So it's settled.
Any of the top 4 tackles have a chance of going first tackle off the board, in my opinion. Just
same here. I agree.
So Wills, then okay? It's
settled. Jedrick Wills.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So he is next. Now next, we come to
Denver.
Yeah, and also we go back to Joseph, I believe, with the
Oh wow, the team I hate the most. Let me pick the worst person. They can...
change now.
Right? You got to go CD, right? Your boy?
Oh no! I'm not giving him CD Lamb. That's my guy.
So wait! You're gonna represent the Broncos and then pick a. I can't.
All right, I'm gonna go. You know who? You know what? I don't even. I hate the Broncos so much. I don't even know who's their quarterback right now.
You remind me
Drew
of
Lock.
Drew Lock. He won like 5 straight games.
Yeah, he won like 5. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You would actually rob the Broncos of a decent pick, and you're representing them. I mean, this isn't Star Trek and the Enterprise incident. You're not like playing a Romulan. You just, you take
I know.
the best guy.
All right, well, since we haven't picked him yet, I just want to throw everything out of whack. Joe Burrow, Denver.
Joe Burrow's already been picked.
Oh, he was he?
yeah.
He was already picked. As for Drew Lock, they won 4 of their last 5 games.
Come on, Joseph, don't go dizzy on us, man. Get in the game. Come on, dude.
I didn't realize it. Okay, so
come on, man.
I'm gonna go wide receiver Henry Ruggs.
Yeah. Ooh.
I like that pick. I like that pick for the Broncos.
That's an angry pick. I think I pissed him off. It's a good pick, though.
Isn't Henry Ruggs your guy, Zennie?
Say again?
Isn't Henry Ruggs your guy?
Yeah. But
Well, there you go. See?
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah.
So now Vinny, right?
Yep, that's me. Yeah, Vinny, not Vinny, not me. Yeah, Vinny. Mr.
My pick. So I'm the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, I have nothing but first round picks on my offense, on the offensive side of the ball. Got new uniforms, which I actually really like them. Some people may not be, but hey, with this, I think it's going to be something that's going to be more liked as a year or two goes on, almost like the Seahawks or the Titans almost. So I look at the Atlanta Falcons. You need help on defense. It's cool you have all the first round picks in your offense, but you got to look at the defense. The defense just got torn to shreds, especially the first half of the season. And Trufant's gone. So what am I going to do here? I don't know. Vic Beasley is not there anymore, and he hasn't really been much. He wasn't really much of a factor. So,
hey, Vinny,
I'm going to go with Kilavon Chasen. I'm going to go with Chasen here, the edge rusher from LSU, because
that's a good one.
I think the Falcons are in bad need of an edge rusher.
Yep.
But I think the Falcons would be a team that would trade up for a guy like Henderson if Henderson's not taken off.
They don't have a starting corner on their roster right now. They're desperate for a corner. That's for sure.
I know that's why I'm going with this is sort of like a placeholder pick for me.
Oh, I'm not hating on your pick. I was just agreeing with you what your take was. I'm just.
Hey Mason, by the way, you're next for the Cowboys. Just notes.
All right, go with the Hot Boys.
Boys. So biggest need is secondary. Possibly edge rusher. Makes it easy that Chasen's off the board. I still probably would have gone with my favorite safety. I think it's a little too early. It's not too early for Jeff Gladney. I really like Jeff Gladney a lot. I think one of my favorite players in the defensive backfield, I'm getting Grant Delpit here at number 17. I'll take the ball.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one.
Oh.
I like that pick, actually.
As the Big Bang Theory people would say, bazinga. Nice.
Bazinga.
Yeah. So, Anthony, you're next, and then me.
Okay. Miami Dolphins at 18. I'm just doing a lot of the AFC East teams as I see this. This is playing out. The Dolphins are spending a lot of money in free agency, bringing everybody in. They brought in Byron Jones. They still need to bring in a lot of people. I think that taking Justin Herbert at 5 helps offensively. Now, you could go Xavier McKinney from Alabama because I know they need a safety. But with CeeDee Lamb still sitting on the board here, and if you're bringing in Justin Herbert, I think you have no choice. Take CeeDee Lamb now. Devontae Parker.
Dang it!
Mike Jesselman.
Oh, that'd be.
Oh,
Yeah, you take
That'd be.
you taking CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, you take CeeDee Lamb right here, and now you have a quarterback for the future and now a number one wide receiver for the future. You can start building this whole thing around.
Dang it.
Wow.
So the Raiders come to me.
I like this.
And the Raiders come. I'm the Raiders. I'm next. I'm the Raiders.
You're
Dang
fine,
it.
Zennie. You're
Oh.
fine, Zennie. You're fine, baby.
Yeah,
Take
you
whatever
Don't worry. This is
you
the wide
want.
receiver rich draft class. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You'll be
You
okay.
took my dude. You took my other dude. That's okay. Like
Judy's still out there.
No. Judy's
No. Judy was taken. Judy was.
Oh
the
my
number 13
god, I can't see anymore. Okay, my bad. I know. Okay, Henry Ruggs, CeeDee Lamb, Judy's gone. All right.
Yeah. Hey, Joseph, can you see the center screen? Because I think you can scroll. I'm not sure if you can. Do you want me to scroll down?
I can't. I could only zoom in and out. I can't scroll up and down.
I'll tell you. Let me do a review real quick for everybody, just so that.
Yeah, that would help. That would help me out.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Let me absolutely.
Look at the Niners.
All right. Quick recap. Chase Young, number 1, Cincinnati Bengals. Isaiah Simmons, number 2, Washington Redskins. Jeff Okudah, number 3, the Detroit Lions. New York Giants selected Joe Burrow for quarterback. Miami Dolphins snapped Justin Herbert off the board. The San Diego Chargers took Tua Tagovailoa. We went defense, number 7 did the Carolina Panthers, Derek Brown. The Arizona Cardinals got their road grader Mekhi Becton. Number 9, the Jacksonville Jaguars took Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle. Number 10, the Cleveland Browns took their anchor for the future, Tristan Wirfs. Number 11th pick, the Jets got their own version of the star offensive tackle, the future, and Andrew Thomas from Georgia, excuse me. And then the Raiders snapped C.J. Henderson off the board at cornerback, number 12. Niners at number 13 took Jerry Jeudy, a wide receiver from Alabama. Jedrick Wills to block Tom Brady at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's from Alabama. The Broncos added Henry Ruggs III at wide receiver from Alabama. And Clevon Chason, edge rusher from LSU, is off to the Atlanta Falcons here. The Dallas Cowboys are welcoming LSU's safety Grant Delpit. Oklahoma has added CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver. And the Raiders.
Miami added.
The Miami Dolphins, I'm sorry. And added CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver, which really screwed me up because now the Raiders are on the clock. And at 19. And there are a number of ways the Raiders can go. And I'm not going to go in that direction. I am going to go, and I'm going to add Patrick Queen at linebacker.
Nice.
And
I know
that people say, we've added linebackers in free agency, but look, the Raiders had a chance to get a guy who would have been their linebacker for a long time, and in Devin White, and let him to buck the Bucks. Not this time. So,
but to be fair, Cleveland Farrell was not bad as a rookie. To be fair,
well, but look, he wasn't bad, but
White was better.
But Mike Mayock,
White was definitely better. There's no question.
Mike Mayock himself said that Farrell was a leadership pick. Remember that?
Yes, it was a leadership pick, and he's been doing good. I mean, some people got mad at him and say, hey, if Quinn Williams was there, the Raiders would have taken him. Who had the better season, Quinn Williams or Cleveland Farrell? Cleveland Farrell had the better season.
I think the issue is Josh Allen, in my opinion. That's the issue.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yes, that people were Josh Allen. Me and many others did think that Josh Allen would have been a good fit for the Raiders. However, they got Max Crosby, who, if I recall, he would finish in 3rd place in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. So,
nope.
They're not bad.
I hear you. I love Max, but
and the reason why I like this pick with Queen is that Mayock has already said that he favors picks 20 through 60. So I suspect during those picks, that's where eventually, if we move up or we move up to the 2nd round, that's where we're going to get our receivers potentially.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Queen is solid, but Cleveland Farrell. When I think Cleveland now, I think of a dude riding a horse, holding a hand with his teammate. Okay, so
John neighbor.
Have you guys seen the video that I'm talking about?
Yeah, with Jonathan Abram. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what? So it's like, I mean, it's like, anyway, moving forward.
It's
Yes.
Brokeback Mountain.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock, and
That's
it's like
group.
Oh,
pick,
that
right?
would be me.
That's a group pick, I think, right?
that is correct because I just opened my mouth with respect to the Raiders, and brought in Patrick Queen. So now we have a group talk regarding Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's already added Derek Brown. No, excuse me, that was Carolina who added Derek Brown.
Javon Kinlaw. They got Javon Kinlaw.
Thank you. Right, Javon Kinlaw. And so now, having gone for defense, we've got the remaining top 10. We have Christian Fulton at cornerback, Jordan Love at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor at running back, Denzel Mims at wide.
No, you got to scroll up. You're missing Justin Jefferson.
Oh, thank you for that. You're right.
Michael Thomas with speed.
Here we go. I'm missing more than that. There's Xavier McKinley at 18, Justin Jefferson at wide receiver, DeAndre Swift from Georgia, DK Dobbins at running back, Josh Jones at tackle, Jeff Gladney at cornerback, and Christian Fulton, Jordan Love at quarterback. So I would love to add Jefferson here myself for LSU.
I think Jefferson's a great pick, or defense. Either way, they got so many holes. I'd just go best player available, kind of. So whatever.
Yeah, go best player available and go best player plus best player available at position of need. And if Gardner Minshew is truly your guy, give him another weapon to throw with. He can throw to besides DJ Chark, and I think
say that 3 times real fast.
I think the best way to help out Gardner Minshew is to give a Robin to the Batman that is DJ Chark. Yeah. But basically, I think the best wide receiver right now in the draft is Justin Jefferson. And considering that we already went defense for the first pick for the Jaguars, let's go offense with their second first-round pick for the number 20 pick. So Justin Jefferson from the Louisiana State University.
And some more insight on Justin Jefferson. A lot of people had concerns about him only being a slot receiver, and he goes out and runs 4.4 speed. He's got 78-inch wingspan, which is awesome. 18 touchdowns this past year. He's got a great rocker step. I think he's a really good player out there. I like that a lot.
And just since we're talking about Mr. Jefferson right now, why not a little bit of a highlight reel and see what this man looks like?
He also caught 80% of his 50-50 balls this past, I think, 2 years, according to Pro Football Focus. So basically, a 50-50 ball is 80-20 in his favor. And it's probably has something to do with that big wingspan. He's only 6 foot. He's got a wingspan similar to T. Higgins, who's 6'4".
Oh, yeah.
So,
1 second, guys. Just gonna get some more water. We'll be right back.
Okay. Some highlights of Jefferson.
Yeah, with Justin Jefferson, he has that big bodied frame, but he's in a small, speedy body, if that makes sense. It's him and my guy from Oklahoma State, Tylan Wallace, are probably the 2 best college football receivers for contested catches. Justin Jefferson really is going to make any team real good, real quick. And he's going to be somebody that you can put and you can mismatch against defenses based off what he does. And in Jacksonville with DJ Chark, you can put Chark on the outside knowing he's going to go flying down the field, try to stretch the field. But Justin Jefferson has shown through his tape that he runs every route. He doesn't just run straight forward. He can run everything. He's got hands. His hands are so long. I always say this about receivers: if their arms are so long, they can stretch their knee. They can scratch their knees while they're standing. And he's got that body. And Mason hit the nail right on the head. That with the contested catches, it's 80% going his way. It's because he uses his whole body, which a lot of receivers don't do. and he understands the fundamentals of body positioning, where a lot of receivers you see in college don't understand that. They think they're just faster and bigger than everybody. And when you get to the NFL, everybody's bigger and faster.
Yep.
But Justin Jefferson understands how to position his body. Like from that highlight reel you saw, he's using his back a lot. He's not pushing off, but he's just twisting his body ever slightly enough to give him that extra step or that extra inch to catch a football. And I think the Jaguars are in a lot of trouble, but Justin Jefferson will definitely help them out.
So now that we go back after that, it goes to Joseph. Then Vinny, then Mason, then Anthony. So Joseph gets started, and by the time Vinny, he is back. I was going to say, by the time he gets off the loo, he'll be ready. But he's off
the loo. I had to fill my water.
Okay, so did we make a pick for Jaguars yet?
Yeah, we picked Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah.
You got to click it in, okay. I think.
Yeah, brother, we got to buy you a computer, man. We got to buy you a computer and
you got to click it.
Kidney. I need a kidney more than anything. That's for sure.
You got to select Justin Jefferson, Zennie.
Yeah, that's a great idea, by the way. I had it down in concept, I just had to go from concept to execution. So so there we go. All right, now we are at the EA. Wait a minute. EAGE. Wait a minute.
Eagles.
EAGLES. Eagles. Every time I say that, I think of Bradley Cooper. Remember in the movie that he was in with
Hangover or no?
Silver Linings Playbook?
Yes, that one. Right. That's every time. That's why I started laughing and started saying it off the cuff, because I was thinking of Silver Linings Playbook. And speaking of Silver Linings Playbook, apparently Carson Wentz has been consulted as providing his input on who the Eagles should draft here. So and apparently he said faster. We need someone faster. So that's just for you as you endeavor to make your pick.
Well, he says faster. I'm assuming wide receiver, but I was thinking about running back. That's my favorite position. Now I'm going to throw it out there and see what you guys think. Clyde Harris from LSU.
I'd say they had Miles Sanders, who is leading all rookies in all-purpose yards, so they already have a pretty good pass-catching back.
Mm-hmm. There needs a wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback.
I'd say safety. They just let go of Jenkins. He went back to New Orleans. Xavier McKinney's pretty dream spot.
McKinney's sitting there on the board.
Just lost Jason Peters, so Josh Jones would be a nice pick.
Yeah, I take McKinney though. He's just sitting
McKinney or Josh Jones probably more from a need standpoint.
Okay. Let's go with McKinney.
Got it.
I'm comfortable with that.
McKinney's with an Eagle. There we go. EAGLES. Eagles. Oh, I got who's next?
Me.
I gotta take this quick. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hello.
So Vinny's, you're next.
So do I make the pick when Zennie's here, or do I?
No. Just wondering. So you're next, though, right?
What? What are you saying?
I think Mason said something.
You make the pick, that's fine. I'm writing them all down anyway.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings. You're hearing rumors that they could potentially trade for Odell Beckham Jr. I don't see that happening. I just don't. I feel like with this pick, they're going to go with. I think they're going to take. I think they use both of their first-round picks here, though I do think they might trade back a bit. Latter half of the first round, or even early in the second, I could see that.
And I think also the Browns GM came out today, right, and said he had no plans on trading Beckham. Whether or not he's just throwing it out there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would say whatever anyone says, any GM says, just don't pay attention.
Take it with a grain of salt.
just don't even listen to it, period. Because if Gettleman said they weren't going to trade Beckham at all, and then they traded Beckham to the Browns. So I would just, whatever they say, just don't even pay attention. Unless it's something pretty serious. Unless it's from like a verified source, like a Rappaport or a Schefter. They say that a team like the Eagles or the Falcons could trade up a little bit early in the first, or a team like the Seahawks or the Niners could trade back. Listen to them there, but do not listen to what a GM says. Do not listen to what a head coach says publicly, because it's a lot of smoke screens.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. It's lying season right now.
Oh, 100%.
And that doesn't mean the reporters are lying, because they're getting it from good sources. It's just the sources are lying. It doesn't mean, I hate when people say, reporters aren't credible, because sometimes they aren't. But you know what I'm saying? The good ones, they're getting it from good sources. It's just their sources are lying because it's lying season.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like it's a giant poker game right now. Until your team's on the clock, you're just showing a poker face about what you really want and really need, and that's it. You're not telling anybody anything at all. So who do the Vikings take?
For the Vikings, it's pretty easy who they take here. You need a wide receiver who's okay, and who's the best receiver on the board? Baylor's Denzel Mims, of course.
He's fast.
That guy, man, I tell you what, you guys watch. I don't know if you guys watch the Senior Bowl practices and whatnot, but he put on a show at the Senior Bowl. And the limited route tree at Baylor, played this year with a broken hand, supposedly. But you want to talk about 80-20 jump ball type of guy. He's got that kind of length and potential out there. He's got similar measurements. I'm not calling him Randy Moss, but he's got similar measurements to a Randy Moss out there. Really go gadget arms, 4.3 speed.
Yeah. He seems like the
Go Gadget, like Inspector Gadget almost.
That's what I mean. Yeah, Inspector Gadget. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And the movie with Matthew Project that Disney made in '99.
Oh yeah,
or was it '98? I'm not too sure.
Like
Either one. It's interesting with Inspector Gadget. It was Don Knotts, I think, that played him in the TV show.
Little shout out.
There you go.
Yes.
Shout out
Was it Don Knotts? I'm gonna just check. Inspector Gadget. No, not Don Knotts. Don Adams. It was Don Adams, not Don Knotts. The Don Adams. He was the guy that he was in Maxwell Smart and Get Smart.
Oh yeah, Agent 23.
Yep, he was Agent 23.
Yep. That's. Yeah. No, but the Mims, I think Mims is the perfect complement to Adam Thielen, because Adam Thielen's catches everything under the sun. You need somebody to stretch the field, and Denzel Mims, I think, is that guy. When the Vikings try to go back to that whole, you brought up Randy Moss, go back to those Viking days of Culpepper and Moss and Chris Carter. And yeah, I think that Mims and Thielen pair up really well, and then the running attack with Dalvin Cook as well.
Yeah, I like that. I also think I love Mims, the Mims pick. Another good position that they might take in real life would maybe be like a corner here. I think a Jeff Gladney kind of fits a Mike Zimmer personality type, and Christian Fulter's pretty calm on his back pedal and been doing it for a lot of years in the SEC. I know he missed a year, I think, for a failed drug test, if I'm not mistaken, a couple years back. But those are minimized now with the new collective bargaining agreement. But yeah, Mims, I was watching some highlight tape today and just rewatching the Senior Bowl practices, and man, his measurables are so freaky, and then you just see him really dominate in the Senior Bowl and being able to run a variety of routes. And you look at his route tree. I had a video before, just kind of on his percentage targets. He basically got targeted. 50% of his targets came on 2 routes, and that kind of makes it hard to have a variety of releases. When you're only really running a handful of routes. So at the Senior Bowl, man, he was really mixing it up out there, and it was really impressive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so who's got the Patriots? Who's next?
I think it'd be me, I think.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah. So I think Kenneth Murray is a really good fit for them. I think Kenneth Murray needs to go in a 3-4 kind of attacking style defense. Patriots are very versatile. They're really aggressive. Look back to Collins. Blitzing him a lot. I see a lot similarities in Kenneth Murray. I could see them, going corner potentially. They have the highest or they did have the highest paid corner in Gilmore. You know, they don't like to extend people for super long. This would be a good opportunity to get, you know, a corner to kind of groom and maybe replace opposite him. But I'm going to go probably with my favorite highest upside kind of quarterback, I think. And I'm going to also like Jordan Love from Utah State for the Patriots.
This makes sense. For the Patriots, you also have the Saints right over there that I could see Love being taken if the Patriots don't take him.
Or
But that's
Kenneth
what the
Murray,
Patriots are going
both
to
of
do.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I could see the Patriots doing that. Fight the Saints for all we know.
Yep. Yeah, I think Kenneth Murray or Love would fit both perfectly in both of those cities quite well, those situations. Yeah, no one really knows. The thing I like to say, which is kind of cheap, which I kind of know it is, but like any team should really draft the quarterback that they really like. You know, you should go get your guy. You should draft your guy. And if you're in love with someone, you should go get him. You know, so I don't know if they love Jordan Love, you know, or whatnot, but I just know they could use a quarterback potentially.
Absolutely. Like the question right now is Jared Stidham the answer in New England?
I heard a report that they're going with what's his face. Mike Reese said from ESPN, who's been following him forever. Hoyer would be their starter right now, which is
that's what I mean. So
kind of shocking. Yeah.
So they need a starter and they need a young starter, and I don't think they have a big enough ego that that they're going to try to strike gold, hit lightning twice in round 6 of pick 199. I think that they'll do something and take somebody a little bit earlier. And Jordan Love, you said it exactly right. He's got the most upside of, I think, any quarterback in this draft. If he goes to the right place and if he does the right things, I think Jordan Love we could be talking about Jordan Love way longer than we'll be talking about any other quarterback in this draft.
He could be the shortest. He could be the longest. It's one of those things, and that's just usually how it rolls, you know, with quarterbacks, you know, the right fit and all that.
Yeah.
So I got back in the middle of your conversation. Did we talk about potentially Jalen Hurts at 23, or do you think that it's not even on their
I
purview?
I mean, I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I think he's a great competitor and all that. Me personally, I think he's more of a second-round quarterback. He might go late one. Potentially for a team, because you get that fifth option, that year option, like a team like the Niners would definitely be looking to come out. I think the perfect spot for like a Hurts would be second round Pittsburgh. But I think you're not going to get someone that works hard, you know, harder, that can command a locker room. Coach, you know, his dad was a coach, Olympic style, you know, body lifter. You know, you can squat so much. You know, he's going to work his ass off. I know that. He's got a good arm. I just don't know if he's so much of a natural thrower, and he's got the greatest placement, and accuracy is one of those hard things where it's really hard to potentially, you know, can you teach a quarterback to be accurate? Mechanics help, but it takes a lot of repetition to really change a motion. You know, it kind of opens up his front shoulder a lot. He doesn't, you know, use his core, his legs the best, but he's been working on that a lot. And if there is a quarterback like work ethic to bet on, it is him. So, you know, there's a possibility. I just think, you know, more of a second round guy, which means he'll probably go late one because, like I said, that fifth year you get. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So I guess it's not out of the question, Joseph. I just think I would go with more of a better, kind of more pure passer and natural the football thrower, kind of Jordan Love. That's kind of my thinking.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Plus, the game has changed since Brady's been out, so yeah, I think that makes sense with Love.
Yeah, I think you can win in a lot of ways. I know everyone said. I think you can win in a spread out offense. I really think you can, as long as you're accurate. You know, you can win from the pocket and when it gets tough and stuff like that. But you can win with 21.
Well, there is a lot of grooming for Love, but I think there's potential upside for.
Yeah. I just think it's about, you know, getting the players that fit the scheme, adapting your scheme to fit your players, however you want to do it, and getting it all to work. But I think honestly, you can win in a variety of ways. The only thing like I kind of more modern that I would kind of steer away from is, you know, kind of Chip Kelly kind of took the league by storm for a little bit, but scoring so quickly in that kind of manner, you know, gives it puts a lot of stress on your defense. But I mean, look at the Chiefs, for crying out loud. They just won the Super Bowl doing it. So you can win anyway, man. You could be ball control dominant, tight end heavy, run heavy. Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense. All right. So who had 24?
It would be who's after
Anthony.
me?
Is it me?
Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be you.
Yeah.
Zennie, right?
Yeah, and then Zennie's.
Oh, it's Anthony. My bad. All right.
Yeah, then 25 is Zennie then.
Still out.
I'm gonna type in the picks real quick.
All right.
Who did we get? 22 we went with. Who did we go with? Mims.
22 we went with Mims.
And then 23 we went
Jordan Love.
Love. Okay, copy. I'm just gonna type it in the thing so everyone can see. 24.
So my thought process right now with the Saints is that I'm looking at two people. I'm looking at two different players, and I'm trying to see which one I would really want. It's either AJ Terrell from Clemson or it's Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. And I'm battling it around, and I think that at the end of the day, in their conference and things going on like that, and what everybody else is doing there, I'm going to go with AJ Terrell from Clemson at corner and pair him with what's his name? Marshawn Lattimore.
Yep.
I just think that you have these two young corners, both fast, both good at man coverage. You can kind of almost put them on islands, but not really. And I think that shoring up your secondary in a league like this, in a division,
Definitely.
shoring it up is just the best way to go here. And you can always – there's linebackers that you can get in the second round that are still very good. But right now I think you take –
positional value. I like it. You're not going to get much better measurables than, AJ Terrell. And like you said, that division, as I kind of was talking about, Carolina when their pick was up, while I was kind of trying to say maybe Henderson is – I mean, look at those receivers, man. Every team's got multiple receivers out there.
Yeah.
Now even the Saints they brought in, I know you're picking for the Saints, but even the Saints got two receivers now. They brought in Sanders.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's like a chess game. They're bringing in receivers, bringing Terrell. Terrell, like you said, has huge measurables. And except the Justin Jefferson game, Clemson LSU, he had almost like a Revis type season where I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he held every receiver that he covered for like under 70 yards besides Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, and Justin Jefferson and Chase, they were tearing up everybody, and one game doesn't break you. I mean, it's a little concerning, but definitely doesn't break you. I mean, you go back 2 years ago, he started the game with a pick six versus Tua.
Exactly, yeah, he started off the national championship with a pick six. I think at the end of the day, when we're talking about all the secondary defenders that are in this draft, I think that the two we're going to talk about, I'll say, getting their second contract are CJ Henderson and AJ Terrell. I think that everybody else, I think those two corners will be those like cornerstone people moving forward that like when they're getting their second contracts, we're going to hear crazy numbers that are going to get thrown at these two guys.
I like it. Like the pick. All right. So then 25 would be
Zennie.
Who'd you see who'd you have for the Saints?
We took AJ Terrell.
Mm-hmm.
So
Has anybody picked Fulton yet? Drafted
no,
Fulton?
not yet.
Not yet.
And I've heard a lot of range on Fulton. I heard late 1 to all the way to maybe 40s. Just a lot of variables in him, but he's a super productive guy. Play man, play zone. He's awesome. But really, there's a cluster of corners that belong late 1, early 2. There's about 4 or 5 corners out there, and then there's Jeff Okudah and Henderson that are probably more, in my opinion, should go like pick 5 to pick 12, 13. And we might see Okudah at 3. I just think it's so rare to see a corner go that high, and he doesn't really have the elitist of elite measurables, and he's already super technically sound, and he goes to like one of the DBUs. So one of the things is, how much better necessarily is he going to get with such great coaching? I think he's going to be a great player, though, obviously. Worthy of a, top 10 pick, definitely.
Absolutely.
Top 12. So I guess we'll do Zennie as a group one, I guess, kind of treat it like the war room. So it's Minnesota. We already went receiver. I think ideally corner would, there's tons of corners here. Gladney or Fulton, Johnson from Utah, maybe. I think corner is a nice logical spot here for them in Minnesota at 25.
I think, corner, hey, you don't have Xavier Rhodes anymore. Mike Hughes has been injury prone, and Trey Waynes, you can have better. I'd go with Christian Fulton here. I mean, I think he's currently the best. I think he's the best corner not taken yet for a variety of different projections, just like what Mason said, from like 16 all the way up to like 40.
Hmm.
And as
I like them both. I like Jeff Gladney, Fulton. They're both neck and neck to me. What I would say is Gladney has got longer arms, which is a kind of a big deal. That's not everything, but what I really was going to say is Gladney's a hitter. And when I think of Mike Zimmer, he kind of wants that physical guy. Having said that, I think Christian Fulton is 100% fine. Either one you go with is a slam dunk here. They'll be doing backflips for any of these corners right now.
Though personally, there's a part of me personally that wants to see I want to see Trayvon Diggs go with the Vikings personally, because I just want to see okay, we got rid of Stephon, so let's screw with him more over and let's prevent Trayvon over here. But okay, but in all seriousness, they would not take that pick either way. I'm just saying, just for fun. But in terms of seriousness, Christian Fulton is the guy that I would take if I was the Vikings.
Okay, so we got one Fulton. Anthony, what's your pick?
Besides, I mean, Vinny, you have a good point, but I don't think that they're going to use the 25th overall pick to say "nana nana boo boo" to Stephon Diggs.
So, that was a joke. That was a joke pick.
No, it's great. I love it. No, but I would go with Fulton from LSU, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna vote Gladney, just because the hitting and the little bit longer arms for pass breakups. But I love them both. Joseph, what's your pick?
I like Gladney just for those facts. I like the hitters.
All right. Oh well, Zennie's here, so Zennie gets to make his pick.
About that.
I like it, Zennie.
Make my clan happy.
So you're fine.
Zennie, we're in the war room for your pick, and we're deciding between either Gladney or Fulton.
Where are we?
But let him know we're at 25.
22.
He's still seeing 22.
I'll let you know. 22. Pick Mims. Denzel Mims from Baylor at 22 for Minnesota.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the list. So after you select Mims, it's going to be
Mims. Okay. Got it. There's picked. Got it.
And then Jordan Love.
Say again, please.
Jordan Love, quarterback.
Oh, you said wait. You sent Jordan Love to
the Patriots.
Oh. Oh my God! It's like,
And then 24, we went AJ Terrell from Clemson. He's going to be, I think, ranked like 42 or so on the list. AJ, 45. You have to scroll down, if I remember correctly.
This JavaScript won't stick. Okay, there's number 42.
Something like that, if I remember, in that range. I could be wrong. You could just search short by corner too. Position, you can just type corner.
Oh, what's his name now?
AJ Terrell from Clemson, corner.
Oh, AJ, I got him.
43. Right. Yeah, I knew it was right around there. That's how much I do that. I know Draft Network's rankings, even though I don't even agree with them. And then we went. The next pick is going to be you, Zennie. You're at 25. This is your pick.
Okay, the Vikings.
And we were debating between Gladney and Fulton. We had an even split, but obviously it's your pick here. They went receiver earlier, so it's your pick, Zennie.
I think. Well, you know what? I'm gonna take Noah. Wait a minute. Wait. I'm not gonna do that.
You can scroll up.
I know. I realized that. That's why I went. Wait a minute.
Noah Imbegnogany is a great one though too. A lot of late round buzz on him. He's got some good tape. Struggles to locate the ball a little bit though. Kind of reminds me of DJ Hayden. It kind of scares me a little bit, but he's got some good.
Jeff Gladney.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, Jeff Gladney. solid. I'm not going weird. I'm not going like hyperbolic. I'm sending him a solid player everybody knows is good. Boom.
All right. So then it would be
Dolphins are on the clock, and
so
that
group discussion again, right?
yeah, and the needs for the Dolphins. You who are
Josh
They have
Jones.
so many.
Josh Jones would be a dream. You got to keep your quarterback up, right?
yeah. So let me the TV's quarterback is off just for if you're curious, offensive tackle. What is IOL here on this?
Interior offensive line.
Thank you. Interior offensive line, safety, edge rusher, running back, offensive tackle, interior offensive line twice. Wide receivers crossed out, cornerback, linebacker, safety, and cornerback again. So basically, that's an interesting way of pairing that. I'm getting used to this presentation, but there it is. So I want to pare it down. They need either an offensive tackle or a cornerback for the most part. A running back is another third priority. And now, for me,
Or Austin
the
Jackson.
group,
Tackle.
I find Swift to the Dolphins an intriguing prospect.
I do too.
It is.
The thing I would say is they got a pick coming up here in about 5 picks or like 7 picks. And I just think there's a cluster of really good running backs that you could be happy with kind of there.
Sure.
And I think there's maybe 2 offensive tackles. I know they have Isaiah Wilson up there. I would probably say Josh Jones or Austin Jackson from USC are kind of if I love DeAndre Swift, and you have to, if you love him, go get your guy, obviously, but just kind of from a, maybe a fall off positional value wise, kind of a steep drop off here, offensive tackle wise, after a couple.
I'd go with Josh Jones as well, because the way that the first round has played out for the Dolphins so far, they took Justin Herbert, a quarterback at 5. You took a receiver in CeeDee Lamb at 18. And now take the tackle to keep building that offense up. You think
Jones is that much better than Jackson?
I think they are both extremely talented.
Yeah.
Hey, let's look at the highlights real quick since we're in the war.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll put those up and see what we get out there. Austin Jackson.
Whoever JB in the comments is not excited.
He's not what?
He doesn't want Swift going to he's a Ravens fan, so I know he wants Swift going. He wants his choice of Swift or Taylor. I know you, JB. I've been trying to pick him on Zach Bond. I think Zach Bond's perfect.
Poor fella.
Zach Bond's
for the Ravens or even for the Dolphins. I just think they spent so much money. They just brought in Vinoy and they paid Byron Jones a lot. Why not try to beef up that offense? Try to get really young on offense and your free agent additions are on defense. Kind of like that mindset.
Yeah, that's the same thought I had with that. It's get Josh Jones. Now you got CeeDee Lamb, Josh Jones, and Justin Herbert in the first round.
Or Jackson. They're both
bad.
Yeah,
I like
Cleveland too from Boise State blew up the combine. I'm not that high on him, but he's rising up the boards too. Azrae Cleveland, I think his name is, or something.
Yeah,
Josh Jones. This is Josh Jones, folks. So again.
Yeah, Josh Jones in the Senior Bowl practices was manhandling people.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even funny. He was just pancaking everybody, and he's got great feet. You can see by his quick feet and his kick step.
Yeah, out of his stance. Yeah, he's looking.
Right out of his stance. His feet are up. He's picking them up.
He's played left tackle for a handful of years now. Yeah,
that's what I mean. And you could see he gets up to the second level as quickly as any tackle can.
And you know what? Jackson's very similar, though, too. They're very similar style players, which is, kind of interesting that we're at this point. Even at Cleveland would be kind of similar in real athletic
Get
tackle.
around the guy. Did you see that? You can't get around him.
He's a big body. He's a big body, but he plays like he's 40 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like he's huge. He probably weighed in, if I had to guess. I don't know the exact thing.
I can bring up the measurables right now.
I'm going to guess he probably weighed in at I'm going to say 315. He probably plays like he's 265.
Yeah, he's a dancing bear out there. There's no denying that.
So your other guy was we were talking about Jones. Who was the other guy? Oh,
Austin Jackson from USC.
Austin Jackson. Yep.
And you know, there's a name we haven't brought up at all this first round is AJ Espinosa from
I
Iowa.
love him. I
Yeah.
think he's a perfect fit for the Dolphins, the Ravens, or the Dolphins or Patriots even.
Yeah.
He's a hand technician. Everyone's talking smack on him. He's super productive, man. And there's one thing that always transfers: technique.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people are hating on him, but I like him a lot.
Yeah, you can see Jackson's more like that mauler type. Like he's gonna get after you. Like Josh Jones is real good. Austin Jackson's got a mean streak that I don't think you want to piss him off ever.
Trying to get to the measurements here, folks. One second. I'm going through the great document.
You think about Espinosa, look who he went against in practice all those years.
Oh, yeah, Tristan Wirfs.
He went against Tristan Wirfs, and you're not going to get any much better than that.
Iron sharpens iron. No, I'm a big Espinosa friend. I mean, he led the Big Ten in sacks 2 years ago, and he was a rotational player.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to get to the measurements.
Espinosa?
Yeah, AJ Espinosa. ESPEN something.
AJ.
Yeah, AJ. Iowa.
Yes, never mind. I'm looking at it right here.
There it is.
I got measurements right here on Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson, 6'4", 322.
Ooh.
Arm length, 34-inch arms, wingspan of 82 inches. Josh Jones, 6 foot, 319, wingspan or arm length of 33 inches, and a wingspan of 79, 78. So
Espinosa's eating people alive here, man.
Yeah.
Espinosa is a man child. Everyone's hating on him because you can't run a 40. I'm sorry, you're defensive lineman. You don't need to run a 40.
When you say the word man-child, I usually think of the connotation of the man in his mom's basement, though.
He's like wax on, wax off. You see that hand?
This guy, check this. Look at this. Look at this jump that he does. See that jump? See that he jumps?
Mhm.
It's like a jump escape. And he moves around him. He does that to gain speed. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And his hands, man. He's like the karate master. I love him. It's him and Bradley and Nye out there. Just really good hand use.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like he's good. And yeah, he's getting a lot of slack.
He did it again. You see how fast he got around that guy?
Yeah.
Wait. Look at this. Look at this. What? We're not here. No.
Is that against Austin Jackson right there? Was that against USC in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
So that's against Austin Jackson right there. So who wins this rep?
Look at this. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Look. That's not funny.
Look at Austin Jackson. He's ready. He's lost. You lose.
He's lost. He's
That's
done.
not funny.
He's on his heels.
That's
Called
not
the
funny.
lookout block because he just screams "look out" to his quarterback.
Look at this. Right there. Watch this. Boop.
And people are saying you can't take that guy in the first round because it's 40-yard dash.
No.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out
yeah,
of here.
40-yard dash for 40-yard dash for an offensive tackle because we're drafting tackles based on their 40-yard dash tackles.
If any
Tackle.
lineman on both sides of the ball is sprinting 40 yards one way, you have a
This is
severe
freaking
problem
hilarious.
somewhere.
How come we haven't seen this more? Look at that. Right here.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like him, Zennie, another player to watch, he'll be like third round, late second probably, is Bradley and Nye from Utah, man. He's got similar and maybe not as quick as a get off because that's what you're kind of admiring at, but just the hand technique, man. It is.
No, I've seen 2 plays. His get off. He specializes in it. He gets to his second step, and then he either jumps into another gear or he just figured out some kind of way to get into it, and it's lethal. I mean, that's okay. I'm sold.
Fantastic.
Wow. So we got to make a decision.
Ed, whatever it is, Dolphins are happy right now with the way this draft's falling out. They got a number 1 receiver, their number 1 quarterback, we're assuming, and now
I'm
we
not sitting him Jackson after what I just saw.
not Jackson. It's between Jones and Espinosa now.
Listen to them, Jones.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen to
Stay
Jones.
on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm sorry. Austin Jackson just got tanked after
He
that.
got like a drum. He was dead.
That's so unfair, but
And that makes Austin Jackson look bad. He's not bad. It's just Espinosa is
He's
just
that
so
good.
productive, so polished.
right. It's just that good. And what can you
And he's still available out there. He is on the board for one lucky team maybe here in the first round.
Yeah.
They probably got him ranked down quite a ways if I had to guess. Yeah, see, they got him probably ranked in the 50 to 60s if I had to guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are at
but he's going to go to the Ravens or the Dolphins or the Patriots and be
Seahawks.
a Pro Bowler.
And that brings us to Joseph, you were on the clock, buddy.
For Seattle, right?
Yeah, the Seahawks.
Real quick, did you guys hear Von Miller tested positive for the virus?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yes, that is true. Von Miller did test positive for the virus.
Wow.
The third NFL player, not the second. I don't care what they say.
Who's the first one? I knew that Brian Adams.
Pulling or whatever, Raiders player, his family got it. That happened several months ago, but it didn't pick up a lot. But yeah, that's confirmed. I think it's linebacker,
Plus
practice squad.
construction workers, right?
Yeah, and the construction workers. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I do not see the stadium in either. I don't see either SoFi nor Allegiant Stadium opening on week 1 of the season. I just don't see it.
And I have to say, if one more person tells me it's opening on time, I'm going to say, you know what, you need a lobotomy. This is crazy, man.
Unless they're crazy enough to keep not practicing and keep it going, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. I mean, it should be delayed. I think we're all agreeing that, but I mean, they didn't stop anything.
But Mason, it was supposed to have been finished May 20. Okay, so it's been behind for a long time. But it just
definitely
just prove people how people don't know the project. It's like, come on, it's already late.
I was thinking, could they potentially play their games at UNLV potentially?
I want to see that happen.
Yeah, I think they're discussing in Arizona, Utah.
Yeah. They spent the last 3 years basically, explaining why UNLV wouldn't work. And the only people that ever raise UNLV as a possibility are UNLV alums who happen to be in the hospitality industry and have high rankings. Other than that, you don't find anybody who knows what they're
You don't leave O.co, Oakland Alameda Coliseum, and go to that stadium. You might as well just stayed.
I mean, why not try Sam Boyd? Why not? What's so bad about Sam Boyd? Hell, no one's going to be in the stands anyway. Who cares?
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's the cost to prep it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's for example, it's little things like, for example, the main problem with Sam Boyd Stadium are access areas to what are called the vomitoriums. And what are those? Hallways. All right. The hallways are not great enough for an NFL crowd. The concessions areas are not large enough. There are a lot of things that it's not. Okay. It takes too much money to upgrade that right now. No one has. I mean, everyone talks. It's just one thing to talk about something, but you have to pay for it. And the money isn't there right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who ordinarily will be able to pay for it. They're trying to figure out how to hold on to their employees. So forget it. It just isn't.
Where do you personally, Zennie, I'm just curious, where do you personally see the Raiders, Rams, and Chargers playing to start this season?
I don't see how they're going to play.
Not in the stadiums. I mean, what locations do you see them playing?
He's saying no NFL is what Zennie's saying.
No, because the governors are saying, hey, look, one governor is about that close to saying no sports until 2021 anyway. So when the governors...
Yeah, Newsom.
Right. Well, another one. When the governors speak, all right, forget it. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what Donald...
Well, and today the NFL said that they plan to start the season late and push it to an 8-game season potentially, shorten the season.
Well, what's going on, though, is that, okay, and I want to say this and get to the picks, but I'll say this, all right? Look, you're going to hear a lot of stuff like that because the NFL is not willing to adjust to the reality that it's in. You've got, and for understandable reasons, all right? You have people who are worried about how to maintain their coin, and when we figure out a solution to the virus, then, all right? But you can't take the cart before the horse. And a lot of people are trying to do that. This thing is killing people.
A lot of people.
It's racking up a death toll. And it's just sitting there racking up a death toll. It's like a monster, a real live monster out there that's threatening us in the worst horror movie of our lives. and these guys are talking about a season. I mean, come on, it's crazy. There you go.
There was a great.
Here's the thing. I hope I'm wrong, but the question is, what would make me wrong? It would be the administration spending more money than it's spending right now by about a factor of 3 in getting its act together. This administration does not know what it's doing, and people are suffering from it. And it's it's getting. I was talking to my client and we were talking about how bad we think it's going to get. We're talking about 20 and 30% unemployment rates. It would not surprise me to see 30 million people out of work. We're already at 22 million. It doesn't take much to get there.
Doesn't help that the World Health Organizations now they're cutting their funding was cut. Their U.S. funding was cut now.
Yeah, but you know what? That's like a sideshow compared to what's happening right now. Yeah, people who are not used to being out of work, that close to being out of work, okay? And thank God my mother's got her pension. She's great. My clients don't want to, dump me, especially even after today, which I think is great. So I'm blessed, and the bank tells me that my business loan I asked for, part of which you're going to be going to some of you guys, and all of you guys actually, that's still active, So it won't be a lot, but it'll definitely help. So it's still there, okay? But the simple fact of the matter is that we're headed for a place where, unless people don't demand that our government does better, we're going to be in trouble for a few months. I mean, quite a few months. And if you think Las Vegas is bad now, you just wait. It's going to get worse. And I hate to say it this way, but when the only way things are going to happen is when it gets so bad that some of the people that got put in office weird things start happening to them, if you will, okay? Because that's what they're flirting with. You don't want that. As an economic planner, you don't, those are things you fear. I fear that. But we don't have enough planners. Planners kind of like, well, it'll be okay. Well, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And it keeps getting worse. And then it's like, hey, what happened to your house? All right. That's the kind of people we have running the government. And that's why I'm scared. We're not in the best shape professionally when it comes to people running the government. I don't mean by party. I mean
the DC in general.
Yeah. Okay. Know your government. You didn't take civics in school. They should have taught it to you. Did you?
I was taking civics.
Okay, cool. I'm happy to be wrong. I really am, because a lot of people don't know government. So,
a lot of them, it's sad. Though I would also say that, and in terms of what I think the season would be like if we happen to get an 8-game schedule, what I think would happen would be like you'd play your division, you'd play in your division, and then you'd play the 2 other teams you have based on the conference opponents. I think if that would happen, you would immediately cut any interconference opponents, and you'd probably also cut out your outside division opponents. Like, for instance, the Raiders are going to be against AFC East, as well as the Raiders would be against the AFC East, as well as the Colts and the Browns, and then all the NFC South. If they had an 8-game schedule, what I think would happen was that you would still have your 6 divisional games, and you'd still have the 2 games based on the alignment, so you'd still have the Colts and the Browns. However, you get rid of the interconference opponents, so that's all the NFC South, and you get rid of all the conference opponents, although that basically means all the AFC East. So I'd basically be seeing a situation where your home games, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, and Colts, and your away games, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, and Browns. That's what I personally would see happening. You keep the divisional games, and you have the 2 other out of conference games, out of division games.
Joseph, you're on the clock. What are you going to do about the Seahawks? They have edge rusher needs, among other things.
I'm going to go with Yader Matos from TSU.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Best name in the draft.
Yeah.
Gross Matos. Best name in the draft by far.
Let's take. I like that. Yager Matos. Let's take a quick look at.
Itoro Gross Matos.
Nasty spin, man.
Yeah, Gross Matos.
Let's take, if it will allow me to. Oh yeah, let's take a quick look at Mr. Matos and Matos, Penn State, and his highlights. They say the most underrated defensive end in college football. And we're going to have a quick look at what this man can do as we add right here. And here is the most underrated defensive end right here in college football from this fast right here. Boom. There we go. Mr. Matos, 51 tackles, 16 and a half for a loss. And there he comes in and boom.
There he is.
Ooh. That's a bull rush, man. That's a bull. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Did you see that? Did you see that? Hey, Carillo.
He just pulled him up and he just threw him down.
Look at this. Look at this.
That outside step.
That's not funny, man.
His
Ooh,
three steps and he plants that outside foot in the ground.
Quick feet,
Mitts.
That's
nice
not funny.
movement.
Yeah. Fluid.
Oh,
Super humble too. I've heard him speak a lot. Really a humble guy. Yeah. Those steps. He's got those
run away from him.
legs.
You
He's
cannot
got
run away.
legs on him that he just takes up. He catches up on you real quick. Like, just it's. Yeah, there he is. See how fast he's up the field.
Whew. Oh,
Oh, Dwight Freeney to him.
yeah.
He's got a nice spin move. That's why I say that. He can get upfield.
And he's just got a high motor.
He's a fast big man.
Yeah, you watch any Penn State game, you see him, and he's going hard a lot and often. Like, he's got a very high motor.
Man, that guy's boy. You match him with the Seahawks,
Yeah.
he would give the
I like this pick, especially considering they're not going to have Clowney. I mean, this is the right pick if I was them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Clowney dropped his request of 23 to 18, I think, and still no one's picked him up yet.
That's about right, I believe. Yeah, that's make sure that.
Well, that was my thought process going in. I think the fact that Clowney is still out there kind of led me to believe that Seahawks is trying to go a different direction, possibly.
He just wants too much money.
Yep. So I think you want to stick in. You know what? You know what though? That's not my selection though. We're at the Ravens.
That's my selection.
We're at the
I
Ravens.
have the Ravens.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
This is JB's pick. This is JB's team. A loyal listener.
And
So
this is gonna be funny. I'm not gonna say anything. I just want
if you're a Ravens fan, you are deeply upset that Marshall Yanda, one of the few players that were selected unanimously to the 2010s All-Decade team, has retired after another All-Pro caliber season with the Baltimore Ravens. Selected in the 2007 draft class, along with Calvin Johnson, Joe Thomas, Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, Patrick Willis, and many other future Hall of Famers, and Jamarcus Russell. I had to say that last part to all of you. You're welcome. Also, Darrelle Revis was in there too. And I said Jamarcus Russell because
Jamarcus Russell, the best quarterback coach in the world.
what'd you say about Jamarcus Russell?
The best quarterback who ever had a lousy coach in the world.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin wasn't that great, and neither was Tom Cable for that matter. But hey, there's a lot of issues with Jamarcus Russell, but man, he was a big boy. He was a big boy. He was a big boy. But before I get off topic,
there weren't any issues with him.
Marshall Yanda is unfortunately
$29 million of the Raiders' money. That was smart.
Hey, he has his money, and didn't he go to jail for like drinking drinking a bit of that lean? Yeah, You've been drinking a bit of that lean, and I go to jail, and I'm like saying
he's a Southern brother who got treated like crap. Okay, I'm serious. Had a lousy.
I hear you. I believe you. His two of his uncles died actually before a season.
Do you realize that Lane was stupid enough? And Lane, I hope you see this. You put him in a situation where it's 3rd and 10, I formation. The Broncos were pushing a double linebacker blitz. You gave him no audible out of it, and yet you put him in that dugout formation. Mr. Carillo, would you have ever done anything like that?
I'd shoot myself before I put my quarterback in a position like that.
Oh,
These people are blaming Jamarcus for something that he's a kid. He doesn't know any better. And yet you guys listen to the media, and these guys have their heads up there. You know what's? Look, dude, he got treated like crap. I root for Jamarcus because he was a guy who didn't know what was happening, came from the South in the Bay Area, which is a bad thing for a brother to come through from. Everybody knows it. All right, nobody wants to talk about it. And hey, look, he got money for his family and everything else. The Raiders got nothing because Lane was freaking stupid. All right, period.
Lane was not that good of a, and that's why he hasn't had an NFL job since. Well, though he has had a college job. But before I go about that topic, in that 2007 draft class, you got Marshall Yanda.
Everybody can have their opinion, but I got mine.
No. I agree with you. I'm just saying. But before I get off topic, the 2007 draft class featured many phenomenal talents, including Marshall Yanda. However, he's no longer there with the organization. So, who are they going to have in place of him? Well, it seems pretty obvious to me. Cesar Ruiz, Michigan.
Oh.
This is a pretty easy one for me. They need help at the interior, and Cesar Ruiz is the guy. And for a team like the Ravens, a team that went 14-2 this season with Lamar Jackson, unanimous MVP. Don't listen to what Bill Polian has to say. I'm pretty sure there's actually a Lamar Jackson in this draft class too. For all I know, he probably wants him to be a wide receiver as well.
Now, okay, I'm waiting for Mason Riggs to tee it up.
No, dead serious. There actually is a Lamar Jackson in this draft class in the corner.
Yeah, the corner.
No, Mason, you know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about Lamar?
No, there's a Lamar Jackson at corner in this draft class. There's a cornerback named
Lamar
Lamar
Jackson.
I'm
asking what Zennie is referencing right now.
I'm referring to how Bill Polian said that, that he thinks that Lamar Jackson should have been a wide receiver, and
I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about the Ravens and that pick.
Oh, yeah. JB wants Swift for sure.
Right. And so Swift is at the top of the list. And I'm waiting for
I'm with
is JB like he's got the new comments here.
He's talking.
Like, you know what?
No.
Exactly. See?
Hey, don't worry, Vinny. I switch it up on JB too.
I thought of it, but the reason why I didn't take it was mainly because you already have Mark Ingram and you have Gus Edwards there, so I figured, what's a bigger need right now? Interior offensive line, or is it running back? And it's interior offensive line, because when you lose a guy like Marshall Yanda, you got to replace him.
You have my man Justice Hill from Oklahoma State in that backfield as well.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. And like I said, interior is more important right now than running back because you have a bigger hole.
Ingram got hurt. Just saying.
Ingram got hurt. They got a lot of picks in this draft too, so they can find a valuable back,
you have cornerbacks. You have Jonathan Taylor, you have J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift sitting there.
Yeah.
You have Carlos Edwards-Helaire. You'll get somebody else, and you'll get somebody that's very serviceable. Right now, and he said, I couldn't agree more. You just lost pretty much a gold jacket offensive guard. And
first ballot.
Yeah.
You replaced him with Cesar Ruiz, who is a fantastic guard. Watch the tape on him too. He's a big mauler, and he's a poor man's Marshall Yanda, and you're trying to replace Marshall Yanda. So
it's crazy. They're gonna have 4 guys drafted, and they're like 80th in rushing at Michigan or something.
Honestly,
it was crazy. I don't know. And they got Jim Harbaugh as a coach. I don't know how they were.
Jim Harbaugh,
not Jim.
He's got to loosen the belt on those slacks a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Vinny. So 29, I guess, is me. A lot of different options here. I heard a lot about Isaiah Wilson. They need a tackle to replace Coghlan that they lost. tons of running backs here. I think, they got to start thinking about finding that long-term replacement if they don't get a long-term deal hammered out with what's his face?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, thank you. So I'm tempted to go running back here, and there's a couple big backs. There's a couple speedy backs that could complement him. There's the J.K. Dobbins who can do a little bit of both. But because there are so many running backs, I'm going to go with offensive tackle, and I'm going to go with kind of the rumor that's been circling, and I don't know if I would do it, but I'll go with Isaiah Wilson, the big mauler.
Georgia.
Yeah, I'll go with the big mauler and plug him at right tackle. And
Georgia.
Game.
This makes a lot of sense for the Tennessee Titans. You lose Jack Conklin to the Browns. They have a hole at the other tackle position. The Tennessee Titans are a very nasty team. They're a very rough team. And when I think of a team like the Titans, I'd say, oh, this is a team that needs help in the offensive line and got a good guy right here. I feel like with Wilson and Jones, I feel like they can go either the back end of round 1 or very early in round 2. And if not, I can see a team like maybe like the Bengals or maybe a team like I don't know about the Colts, or another team potentially trading up to get a guy like here. But for the Tennessee Titans, if I get any offers for that, you pass up on them and you take a guy right here.
Yep.
Here's a quick look, folks, for those who may not have seen him. This is a quick look at Mr. Isaiah from Georgia. And there's
a mountain of a man.
Right here.
There
we go. And 6'7", 340.
He's mean.
Right there.
You see a little Trent Brown in him.
Yep.
In action.
He hurts people.
Monstrous white tackles, red-shirted. And
run heavy scheme, which what Tennessee wants to do.
Yep.
And hey, there's no, you know what? That's no highlights there. So let's
JB, look at JB's comment. JB's comment. Select release in round 1. I don't want it.
I don't want to see that. I don't want it.
Isaiah Robinson, he's a sneaky option there.
I mean, he's huge.
Yeah, you see him. You just see him.
Still not what I'm looking for. It's interesting. You don't find one of those, classic highlight. Here we go. Right here. All right.
Got some full game.
Yeah, right there.
He just washed that guy out of the play.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's out of the play.
Yeah. Like, there you go. Stand them up, move
That's
them.
not funny.
It's just mean.
That's mean. Some of that's just mean. Now,
if you look at his hands, he's got like those bear hands. Like he grabs you, it's like, well, I guess I'll just die because like I'm not going anywhere.
Look at it. He stands you up. It's like Kong versus Godzilla.
Exactly. Like you see him, and once he gets in, when he gets his hips low and he starts drive stepping, ow. I don't want it.
Yeah, right. Look at this right there. Stop.
Yeah.
Look at see. He was like, I give up. Okay, yeah. I just throw my hands up and I hope to back the thing away.
It's like maybe I could jump high enough.
Exactly. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, he gets on you, and that's it. You're not moving.
Yeah.
With body positioning alone, I mean, he just can block. He could seal off anybody because just body positioning.
Exactly.
So huge.
He knows his body, and it's just like we were talking about Justin Jefferson about body positioning. Isaiah Wilson, same thing. But the difference is Isaiah Wilson is 340. He's a mammoth.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, back to highlight the just all right. Wait a second here, folks. Did I make a mistake? No, I didn't. There's StreamYard. There it is, the mock draft simulator, but it's not coming up in. Okay, there's that. Why is it?
Here's another question I've had. I'm curious, with the season potentially being short, let's say like at most, like at the least I could see is like maybe like 4 games as 16 games. Mm-hmm. Could you potentially see them having like instead of 14 playoff teams, could you see them having like 16 playoff teams, or do you think they'd still have the same amount?
No, I could see them having that. It's just, I mean, what do you guys think? I could see that happening.
Yeah.
It's
I think I remember the strike shortened season. What was Zennie just left?
He can join back. That's happened to me before.
Yeah,
With
I can definitely.
I know that in the 1982 a strike shortened season, that's when like half the season was cut out. You had 16 teams in each. You had 16 teams in each, but before that you had 10 teams in each. So for all we know, we might even see a playoffs where there's like there's 18 teams or 20 teams. Who really knows? I'd say that because of this is a very, very unique season, I'd say whatever goes.
Well, I still think, I think that the NFL is going to try to recoup. If they shorten the regular season, they're going to try to recoup that money with games and revenue and things like that the best way possible, which is, like you said, trying to expand that playoff bracket more to get more games in, to get more people into it, things. And as the season goes on, if everything goes right with this virus, then medication and things and remedies are getting put forth, and we're getting better as the season goes on. Then they're going to try to, like you said, expand that playoff so that you can just add more games in on the back end instead of once you cut them from the front end of it.
what's happened.
Also,
somehow this got out of sync. I don't know how that happened.
In terms of, I also know that in '82 when they had this, they basically for 1 year they just kind of just sort of ignored the divisions, but not really. They sort of ignored the division, but not really. Instead of just having like AFC East, AFC Central, AFC North, they just did AFC, NFC. And I'm saying Central because the North and the South didn't exist at that time. And you had the Raiders at the 1 seed and the Redskins as the 1 seed. And I'm saying this because I know that they'd lost in the divisional round, the second round. So we had a situation where it was
right. Yeah, what's happened? This is weird. This thing just went out of sync here, so I'm trying to figure. It slides. So I've got to figure out how to bring it back. It's on one end, which is the simulator. So I was trying to figure out how to bring it back. So I'm not going to hold that up. What I'm going to do is, you guys keep talking. I'll tell you where we're at. We're at
the Packers
at 30, and then Niners at 31 and 32. So DeAndre Swift is. We took Isaiah Wilson. Yeah, and then we have DeAndre Swift as the best player available, followed by J.K. Dobbins, Kristen Fulton, Jonathan Taylor.
I like Jalen Reagor here.
Ezra Cleveland. I like that. Jalen Reagor. I like Jalen Reagor as an idea.
I like
that. Vertical threat to go opposite Devontae.
I was just going to say that I wrote down, if you can, on my notes, I wrote down here for the Packers, those were the people that I thought of.
Hey, baby. I like it. Same wavelength.
Jalen Reagor right there. Denzel Mims is gone. T. Higgins is there. And Jalen Reagor, I'm an Oklahoma State fan. I watch a ton of Big 12 football. I'm a Jet fan, Oklahoma State. They all rip my hearts out.
Since his freshman year, he's been balling, man.
Yeah, he's really been fantastic all over the place. And Devontae Adams can stretch the field if he has to, but he's not that type of guy.
Let him eat underneath.
In. He's 5'11". My exact notes, I put 5'11", but real tough, because he is. He's real tough. And if we weren't going to go with the receiver there, the other person to replace Blake Martinez would be, I would put Jordan Brooks from Texas Tech, because he's purely athletic that he'd be somebody that develops into an absolute 3-down linebacker. And he can put it out the sideline.
Murray's available too. I love Jordan Brooks. I was hoping he'd be around in the third. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. I like him a lot.
So we're saying in terms of a consensus, what happens is when the draft window comes up, it slides every other window out of the way.
Everybody that way.
Eventually, yeah.
But so basically, you're saying again, the consensus is
Jalen Reagor.
Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's plugged in.
And I see more Tyreek Hill in him. Yeah, I know a lot of people like to say Ruggs. They see a lot of Tyreek Hill and Ruggs, but from a body standpoint and how they really kind of move, I see a lot of that in Reagor. Maybe not the top end speed of Tyreek Hill, but very good acceleration.
That quick twitch that quick twitch. Rager's got it. I like you said, since freshman year, I've been watching him a lot. He's burnt a lot of the secondaries for the Cowboys.
Great slow-go route, man. He runs a great slow-go route.
He's real good. He's 5'11", like I said, he's tough. He's 5'11", but he plays like he's 6'3", and he's good at run blocking. He's not great at stalk blocking, but he'll get in the mix and he'll start hitting.
And a great punt returner, so you get a little special teams too.
Exactly, because they're still trying to replace Randall Cobb. The Packers are still trying to replace Randall Cobb, and this is somebody that can almost fit that mold of a Randall Cobb-esque person with faster speed.
I like that. So then who's what team we got next?
We got next team we have on the mark. The Niners at pick 31, and then the Chiefs for the last pick at 32. The Niners at pick 31.
What about Espinoza for the Niners? They just lost Buckner. They kind of replenish that. I mean, or you could go corner, maybe Christian Fulton stands out. Obviously, in real life, they'll probably be trying to trade back, but maybe D-line or Fulton would be sweet for them too. They could use a corner opposite Sherman.
Yeah, it's Fulton or it's Espinoza, because, like you said, they just lost Buckner, and the Niners have had real good luck and real good in-house progression with first-round defensive linemen.
Yeah. Phenom, if we want to go with user Phenom, he might be a Niners fan. He says, my 49ers, so he is a Niners fan, need a corner. So if we're talking Phenom, his vote is Fulton.
Yep.
Or Diggs. I don't have a problem with that. But I love Espinoza, and I want to get him in the first. But hey, not everyone can be a first-round pick.
That's right. A lot of it's if we're going corner, if I had a gun to my head, if I had to pick one corner, it would be Fulton here. Like I just think Fulton, the way that he plays and the people he's played against, I think it's just he's good. He's real
definitely, yeah. So Phenom's saying Diggs. He's going for more of the upside. I like Fulton though.
All right.
Sorry, Phenom.
If I was the Niners, I would take a Fulton here. However, what I personally think is going to happen is that the Niners are going to be trading back from this pick. Though let's pretend. Okay, this is a draft. We're not making guesses. It's just us pretending. They would take either a lineman, but I think they could really help at corner. I mean, Sherman's nice, but he's getting a little bit up there in age, so I'd go with Christian Fulton here as the corner.
Hey, I just want to. Phenom's putting out good notes though, and I kind of agree with you, Phenom. But Fulton, Diggs, they're both great, but Diggs definitely has the elite measurables from arm length and all that.
I'd be down with Diggs too. It's more of a coin flip for me. I mean, I go with Fulton, but it's not that much.
I think we would take Fulton, but if we want to make a viewer happy, we already ruined JB's night. Maybe we can help Phenom out and go Diggs.
We've got last pick, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait. So who are we taking? Are we taking Fulton?
I think we went.
We took Fulton. I thought,
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. Okay. Chiefs could go corner as well or running back.
Joe Burrow to the Chiefs.
Right. Delirium is set.
You could honestly, the running back DeAndre Swift looks kind of good here.
More speed for that team. Oof.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift looks good. Espinoza looks good here.
I can't see the Chiefs passing Swift.
Yeah,
I think I'd say because you don't have LaShawn McCoy. Hey, it's the last pick of the first round. Take a running back. Swift's easily the best one. And
for Taylor, for sure fit them.
I can almost guarantee the Chiefs don't pick 32. I can almost bet.
No, I don't see that as you. I just like the Niners and the Seahawks. I see them trading back from this pick. I think a team like the Bengals would trade up, honestly, for one of these. So even though I don't see it, again, we're not doing trades. And the best player available, you need some help at running back. DeAndre Swift's my guy if I was the Chiefs.
Yeah, take Swift to make that offense that's already psychotic, even more psychotic. And then I know Zennie. We both talked to Lee a lot, and he's probably licking his chops, going, "Just give Patrick Mahomes more weapons, needs more money. Just come on, bring it all."
Yeah. So here's the.
Well, another option for running back could be J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah,
definitely. There's all kinds.
says save.
Really, yeah, and he's fast too. I just think
It'll save it for me.
yeah, you can I think save it if you want it.
Yeah.
Swift, I think, is maybe the most proven versatile besides Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yep.
But I think from a physical, measurable standpoint, Swift's a little bit more of a first round measurable talent wise. But yeah, there's all kinds of valuable running backs. Joseph, you're 100% right. I was going to think about J.K. Dobbins for Tennessee. I was really thinking that because he's a little bit more balanced than a Jonathan Taylor, and in the passing game, a little bit more proven. I was kind of thinking that power back to kind of groom behind a little catching ability. As Phenom says, it's a mistake to take a running back in the first round. I disagree. You do have to pay attention to value, but you're going to call Josh Jacobs a mistake. I would call you crazy.
Oh,
So I hear you, Phenom. You don't want to waste your premium carries on a bad team, for example. Like if you have a bad team, you don't want to use all your good carries you have on a young running back. But, man, if you're a special running back, that's a big difference maker, man.
Well, look at Saquon Barkley. Look at Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. Yeah.
He's put him on any good team, and he's running the tires in New York on a bad team, and he's just getting beat up. And you can I'm not projecting him any further than what he's done so far, but you can see it. He's banged up, quad, thigh, this, that, everything else. And if you think about it, with DeAndre Swift, look who else went in the first round. Both of the tackles that blocked for him went in the first round. So DeAndre Swift played on a run-heavy team, everything else. But if somebody was going to tell me J.K. Dobbins is going here, I'm not going to protest. I'm not going to
exactly.
Let's say great. Okay, he goes here. DeAndre Swift will go within the first probably 10 picks.
There's 4 or 5 running backs that all are pretty clustered together. Their measurables are a little different, maybe their styles, but
hey guys,
4 really good.
If it seems a little weird, I'm refreshing the screen because my browser's being wiggy. So
Okay.
Yeah, I personally think what we're gonna see, like even if you want to take a running back here, like as you see it in recent years, I mean, running back is a very, very risky position if you take early in the first round, but at the very, very end near the end of the first round, I'm okay with him. Early in the first round,
yeah, because you get Fournette sometimes. You take a Fournette at number 4 or whatever he went.
Then you get McCaffrey at 8. Yeah, McCaffrey may be a running back, but he's more than just a running back. He's a guy that could literally do anything.
He's a slot receiver. Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey is the new.
As soon as his body's banged up, he'll be a top 5, top 3 slot receiver at age 29, 30.
Oh yeah, he'll transition into that Wes Welker type receiver, and then he'll go on. If he's got 5,000 rushing yards, he'll go on to have.
He could have a long, long career if you really think about it, man.
I will read to you all the order will be picked. It's not appearing there because this browser is being weird. My apologies. But
were we settling on Swift?
I'm sorry.
Are we going with Swift as our final pick?
Yeah, that's what was Swift. I
like it.
Yeah.
Just making sure because we kind of like J.K. Dobbins, J.Andre Swift, and just making sure.
Yeah, we had.
You're right, Phenom. Elliott will be gone in 2 years, but he's put up elite numbers for about 7.
Yeah.
So we have
or 6, whatever, 5.
I can put this in here, post comment like that.
JB really doesn't like this Ruiz pick.
JB is one of my big time listeners. I love it. He is with conviction. He likes his guys. He loves Swift or Taylor, and then he loves getting Tyler Baez from Wisconsin. He loves him too.
I love it.
So,
I just put in the comments all the picks from the if you want to go but I can do it the other way. I can simply read them to you. So number 1, as you know, was in this very, very unusual second Zennie62Media mock draft. For round 1, we had the first pick, Chase Young. Ohio State went to the Cincinnati Bengals. Isaiah Clemson went to the Washington Redskins. Jeffrey Jakuda, cornerback, went to Ohio State. Joe Burrow, quarterback, went to the New York Giants. This is second.
Detroit.
No. Joe Burrow, quarterback, New York Giants, went to the New York Giants from LSU. That was a Mason Riggs special.
I love it.
Purge. That's the purge right there.
With conviction, baby.
Somebody called Josh Rose.
It was
Daniel Jones.
It was an NFL draft pick protest to Chase Young going first.
I love it.
Justin Herbert is a Miami Dolphin. Tua Tagovailoa is a Charger. Derek Brown, committee pick to go to the Carolina Panthers. Mekhi Becton is on his way to from Louisville to Arizona. Probably be rich enough to afford a bungalow in the Biltmore, no doubt about it. And Javon Kinlaw, one of my favorites from South Carolina, is Jacksonville Jaguar player. Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle from Iowa's Cleveland Browns selection at 10. Andrew Thomas, the massive Georgia offensive tackle, is a New York Jet. The Raiders get C.J. Henderson, who we hope is like Fred the Hammer Williamson in his way. And Jerry Jeudy, Lee Steinberg's star client, is San Francisco 49ers wide receiver from Alabama. Jedrick Willis will have the responsibility of keeping a number of very hungry defensive ends off the back of Tom Brady, which, well, anyway, will be a tall order. He's at pick number 14. Henry Ruggs III, wide receiver from Alabama, will join Cortland Sutton to form a lethal duel with the Denver Broncos. Clavin Chasen, edge rusher from LSU, is a Atlanta Falcon. The seemingly 1,000th edge rusher the Falcons have picked in the last 3 years. Just saying. You know what? You got to think, though. When they pick that many edge rushers and they don't go well, it can't be the edge rusher's fault.
It's not. It's like being in a bunch of
at this point it's probably just it's sort of like with the Lions did. It's like what the Lions did in the 2000s. Matt Millen always kept taking a wide receiver. At that point, are you going to really blame the wide receiver, or are you going to blame Matt Millen?
It kind of tells you. I think Carillo is kind of about to lean into that direction, but it kind of tells you there's something wrong with the way you're coaching your defense. Just you know. Yeah,
and it's sort of like how the Jets always kept taking a defensive player every single year until they took Sam Darnold.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Yes.
I want to talk about it.
Okay, I'll say Kyle Wilson.
Yeah, Kyle Wilson. No, we took Anthony Beck over Warren Sapp.
Sure did. Moving along, folks, we had Grant Delpit to the Dallas Cowboys, a safety from LSU. CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver from Oklahoma, is a Miami Dolphin at 18. 19 to the Patriots. 19 to the Raiders are now the Las Vegas Raiders, Patrick Queen, linebacker. 20, the Jacksonville Jaguars get Justin Jefferson, wide receiver from LSU. 21, Xavier McKinney is a safety from Alabama. 22, Denzel Mims is the wide receiver from Baylor, who becomes a Viking. I think that's going to be an exciting acquisition if that happens in real life. 23, the New England Patriots score a Jordan Love at quarterback to be the Tom Brady heir apparent from Utah State. 24, New Orleans Saints nab A.J. Terrell, a cornerback from Clemson. 25, the Vikings, Jeff Gladney, cornerback from TCU. 26, Josh Jones, offensive tackle from Houston, go to the Miami Dolphins. 27, Yader Gross-Matos, the edge rusher from Penn State, comes to invade Seattle and play for the Seahawks. Cesar Ruiz, the inside-out offensive lineman from Michigan, joins the Baltimore Ravens to help block for Lamar Jackson. 29, Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle from Georgia, joins the Tennessee Titans and that great band of offensive line people they've got there. Jalen Reagor, wide receiver from TCU, becomes a Packer. And Kristen Fulton, cornerback from LSU, joins the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully become the next Eric Wright. DeAndre Swift, if not Ronnie Lott. DeAndre Swift, although Lott was a safety. Running back from Georgia is DeAndre Swift, who makes the fast Kansas City Chiefs even faster and becomes the 32nd pick in the 2020 NFL draft, at least our mock draft on Zennie62Media. Not bad, guys.
There you go.
Not bad.
One more quick thought on a player I just kind of noticed and how our draft kind of shook out. with how it kind of fell for the Raiders at 19, we went with Patrick Queen, which could definitely happen. There's plenty of receivers you can trade up to get in the second or the third, but someone that we sent to Green Bay, I think might have a chance to go at 19 particularly, and that's because it's a unique skill set. You talk about pure vertical burners. It's Henry Ruggs for sure. You know, a Jerry Jeudy I like to give that to, and then a Rager and a KJ Hamler, and then maybe one other Mooney, I think is his name, from Tulane. My point is if you're going to build a variety of get two receivers, which the Raiders might have to do, you know, get that unique talent, and then you can get that route runner or possession receiver in the third. So I just think Jalen Reagor is a possibility, you know, at a 19, if it kind of shakes like that and they miss out on the top three.
It's going to be interesting to see how the draft, how the whole pandemic impacts the draft.
I think it's going to be a big impact, to be honest. I did a little video on Zennie62 on it. I think trades are going to be down a little bit. You're going to maybe see some people scrambling a bit. And the medical thing, man, it's going to be hard to trust third-party doctors, not your own doctors, you know?
Yeah.
Do they have your organization's interests at heart, or the player that, you know, that they're, you know, what are they trying to do?
And that's why I think Tua is going to fall for that reason alone.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to do another one of these?
Oh, we got
6 more rounds. Let's just keep going.
Let's just keep going. Keep going right now.
Right now,
I
got him.
I'm just messing with you, Zennie.
It's it for me too, guys. It's 1 a.m. for me. I'm from Long Island, so it's getting kind of late for me.
Yeah.
But as I say, you know, this is always very, very fun. I'm going to be doing. I'm actually for RHU. What we're going to be doing is that I'm going to be doing a package on the incoming head coaches. So Mike McCarthy, Ron Rivera, they're staying. They're back in with another team, and then, you know, Joe Judge, Matt Rule, and Kevin Stefanski. Nice. So it'll be pretty fun for me.
Now, Carillo, you wanted to do a film breakdown. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh no. This is for the radio station.
Oh no, I got that. I got you. I'm saying that I'm just trying to get ducks in a row here for what we were talking about, because this is now a week before the draft, and normally for me, I would be planning to leave for the draft by Tuesday.
Yeah, I'd be leaving about that time too. I went last year, and we had plans to go this year. It's a bummer.
Yeah. And so now, but on top of all that, and I was on Tony Bruno's show saying this too, that there's no media technically.
No.
Because for whatever reason they decided to do it, what they didn't do, or if they're doing it, they're not telling you. But let me check the NFL website to see if they're not doing anything, if anything has changed. But
you looked it up. I'll just tell everybody a programming note. Tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing Christian Boogie Cavinas, who is a draft prospect from Bethany College. Zennie's going to help me out with that broadcast with StreamYard. Right now it's set for, I would say, 5 o'clock my time, or it would be 7 yours. Well, you have an interview, right, Zennie? What time is your interview? Because we could rearrange that.
I want everybody to hear this one too. It's at 3 o'clock if you can. 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. My longtime friend and professor of sports economics, Dan Rasher, is going to be on talking about the future of sports in the pandemic. And
that'd be interesting.
He wrote a piece for Forbes that came out this week, which said that college football should not. He said that if college football does not happen this year, they would lose out on billions in sponsorships. So I want to have that conversation with him. Wow. He and I started Sports Business Simulations in 2002, incorporated in 2003. Lasted for about till 2010. That's another story. But we're going to talk about the future of sports in the pandemic, and what he thinks is going to happen, why it's happening. He's going to crystal ball for us. This is a man who's done expert witness testimony. He's done a lot of work for a number of different teams and leagues. He's got a 25-year 25-year history in this. So I'm really excited to have him on. 3 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So tune in, listen, 3 o'clock, and then ask questions on the side. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock tomorrow on the West Coast. 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Oh, and just Mason's internet went down.
He did?
He just texted me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I was having problems like that too. So I don't know. Well, when you guys were in the middle of a conversation earlier, for some reason the system went down over here. But after Zennie's program, it's 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. We'll be interviewing Christian Boogie Cavinas, NFL draft prospect.
Yeah, send me an email on him and I can put out something. But all right, yeah. So,
Okay.
Anthony, you were talking about doing we'll work that out. We'll work that out.
Yeah, no, I was talking about because I coach semi-pro football and everything else, and what they were showing on TV were plays that I created an offense 3 years ago that were eerily similar to what they're talking about now. So what I wanted to do, just for everybody, try to get the X's and O's of football, take the plays that you see from Joe Burrow and these other offensive people, and then correlate them to film that I have in my possession, about 30 games of those same plays, just to show everybody, okay, this is how it functions and this is what it does, and everything else.
JB, by the way, JB, thanks a lot. Hey, so when's the next time you guys can do this?
Whenever you need.
Whenever, really.
Actually, tomorrow I'm getting a wisdom tooth and a crown removed from my face.
I'm taking Friday as a break because I'm between all this stuff, and then I want to give my mom more time because she likes to have company downstairs. So,
what about Sunday night? Usually you come back live on Sundays.
Yeah, Sunday night's good. Yeah,
do something.
Is that good for Vinny?
It works for me. Sunday night at 10 Eastern,
7 Pacific.
Yeah. Does that work for the West Coast guys? We got one guest. We got one West Coast guy.
I'm an East Coast guy.
He's
an East Coast guy.
Yeah, only Mason. Let me ask.
We're East Coast. This side's East Coast. I'm good with it. You know what? It's great to talk football with good minds about the game of football, and it's we're all stuck in the house, and this is a great way.
Yeah, exactly.
To keep things normal.
Yeah. I'm texting Mason right now. Can you do NFL draft Sunday, 10 p.m.
7
Eastern? Well, Eastern. Yeah, that's what I wrote to him. Yeah. So I'll find out. Oh, heck, you know what? Stupid me, rather than texting him, all I got to do is call him, right? And
you can call him live.
Yeah, I can call him, right? Why not? Just call him live. Yeah. So, yeah, hey, why not? I just come through the computer. Yeah, it works. Modern technology, right?
There you go.
Mason.
Hello.
Hey, we have your disembodied voice, but you're on live. Hey, can you do Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. for a mock draft?
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Is there any way you could send a group message as well, just so I kind of have it written down? But yeah, it worked out.
I'll do that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. What happened to your internet, man? Huh? Hello?
Can't hear him.
I'm getting error message on my cable box right now.
Oh, wow.
And
you know what? You need to reset it. You got to reset that bad boy.
Well, yeah, maybe. I guess I can unplug it right now. Yeah, but yeah, I'll just see.
All right, man. We'll let you go. I'll see you.
All right, great mock draft.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun.
All right, bye.
See ya. So that's what happened.
Sure, we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours, 38 minutes. Yeah. And so, I'm going to shove off, folks. That was great. Everybody, thank you for watching. JB, see you later. JB's already phenom. Thank you.
You guys.
There are 5 watching. Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Carillo, thank you. It was great to see you.
Absolutely.
Glad you're coming back. just regular thing.
Nice meeting you guys. See ya.
Yeah. All right, I'll end the. All right, see ya. Okay, thanks, everybody.
All right, see you guys.